Hey.
Oh, I'll talk about it during the show.
Live, son.
I was gonna say live from well, 3 different areas, but this is Saturday. No,
This is Sunday night.
yes, Sunday Night Live. That almost sounds like it'd be more of a football thing.
Yeah.
Even though they usually play more on Monday. Seems like. That, or maybe I'm just confusing it with something else. I know football season is actually starting up pretty soon because I'm seeing a lot of the sports fanatics kind of starting to make some waves here.
Right.
We're talking about like trades and all that kind of stuff. Anyhow, we're running a little late, but we're still gonna try to give a good show.
Yes, indeed.
Welcome to NTR Mornings.
NPR.
Welcome to the NTR Radio Jazz Club.
Welcome to NTR Coffee Mornings, where you wake up with us. Actually, that connotation might be pretty bad considering the name of our podcast.
Yeah, I explained what my shirt really meant to someone because.
Oh shit! Yeah.
That must have been fun.
Actually, I just say it's a parody.
Well, I have to explain what NPR is. Also, it's like.
Right? Really?
Oh well, that's. I think that's even worse.
Yeah, because like it's like, wait, you don't know what that is? I'm not asking if you listen to it. You don't even know what it is?
National Public Radio is.
Yeah, they're pretty big deal, even if you're not into them.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they used to have that Democracy Now! Segment on there.
I just said it's like PBS, but on radio.
Okay, we can work with that. That's kind of true.
That's
very left.
Yeah, that's the kid.
I mean, it's really left-leaning these days.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what is these days, except for...
except for things that are decidedly right-leaning.
Yeah, and maybe always were. Although, I have seen some definite shifts with some people.
Darling in the Franks. That's
Yeah, apparently that's right now.
Yeah, which is absurd. Like, imagine if people were saying this crap during the heyday of anime. Like, everything would be right-wing.
Oh, God, Yamato. Fucking space.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That is like the most nationalistic thing. If like looked at today's.
Oh yeah. It would be looked at as like bigoted or something. Maybe I don't know.
They would say you've heard them use this term. It's jingoistic.
It's jingoistic. That usually is a British charge. It seems like more than an American one because most Americans will be like, "What? What's that mean?" I'm sorry, but there are a lot of my fellow Americans that are pretty stupid. What's jingoistic? That's funny. Anyway, how's everybody doing?
Good.
Little rough on my end. I'm not going to get into it, but
we should start recording.
Yeah, I think that's a good
start.
That's probably a good call.
All right.
That button.
Now we all have a lot of stuff we want to say since we haven't.
Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks and.
Try to plow out. I mean, I'll let you go first and all that.
Oh, if you want me to, I mean, I don't have to.
Oh, well, I'll talk about the stuff I'm watching, then I'll talk a little about.
Alrighty. All right. I've got stuff to talk about that I watch too.
Cool.
So do I.
Not as much anime as I'd like, but there are some.
I added a new show to my watching list.
Repertoire.
Yeah.
All right, ready to start in 3, 2. Welcome to NTR Radio. I'm Tom Force and Anubis.
I'm K-Gods.
And I'm BZ Mark II.
It's been a little while. It's been a little while now. Chinks.
Self promotion.
I actually say that because we're all late.
Well, and you'll find out why we are very soon. I'm not going to get into it right this second, but I was on vacation.
Yeah.
Literally out of state.
NTR Radio on vacation.
NTR on location.
Well, no, it's like that time a while back where I just disappeared and didn't tell anybody.
Oh, yeah. No, I told you I was going though.
But yeah, no, you.
No,
you
no,
did the
I
right
actually
thing.
told you.
Actually
You were
told me.
just like gone, like
I just vanished.
about to fucking call like Unsolved Mysteries or something.
I'm up there. I get a phone call. I'm like, there's nobody I want to talk to right now that doesn't know I'm out of the country. Wait a second. No, I didn't tell anyone. So yeah, there are people I'd like to talk to that don't know.
Glad everybody's keeping in there.
Yeah.
I guess we should probably deal with the biggest elephant in the room. You want to go first since you're kind of wearing it?
We got shirts, son.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, yes, we do. They come in a purple, a black, and a gray.
Yes, indeed.
So far.
So far.
Black.
And we also have hoodies too. Don't forget that.
The hoodies are indeed a thing.
And there are women's versions, just in case.
We got a regular ass t-shirt like I'm wearing. We got the hoodie, which I'm not wearing because it's hot, and we got the women's shirt, which I'm not wearing because I'm a dude. Yeah,
and because you're not trying to be a character from Haganai or something.
We need to make mugs. Down for some
mugs. Yeah.
I think we can.
I mean, I knew another podcast that actually really got into that kind of aspect with mugs and like almost, I think like what do they call it? Like stuff for your scroll wheel.
Your mouse scroll wheel.
The official NTR Radio.
I'm having a blank out right here. Hang on. A pad. I mean, sorry. Like for your mouse
pad.
Mouse pad. Yeah. Why I couldn't think of that, I don't know.
The official Hino Watanabe mouse pad.
Okay, so it's just a flat mouse pad then.
Yeah. So it's just a picture. It's not like, I mean, like those Miku Hatsune ones where it's like her breasts are up and they like are a cradle for your wrist.
Oh no,
yeah,
they
exactly.
have
they have them for butts now too.
Yep.
Oh, they have butts, dude. I seen testicles.
You know what would be a great one? Tanaki.
Oh
yeah.
Oh yes.
Those would be just right. You wouldn't have to really have much imagination to do that.
Yeah.
It'd fit right in with that. Okay, so who wants to go first on the, or do you want to do like announcing the chat and the t-shirt, where you get it, and all that, books and all that?
So here's what you do to get involved with the show live. You go to ntrradio.net, hit one of the chat buttons that'll bring you to the page where you put your nickname in, and hit the button to end up in our IRC channel. Alternatively, take your favorite IRC client pointed at irc.ryzen.net and join us in the #SLC media channel. In addition, you can get at us on Twitter at TEAnubis, at VZMK2, at immortal_KGods, at NTR_radio, and as always, the email box is ntrradio@gmail.com.
And let's get it out of the way. Let's go ahead and pimp out some of this stuff.
So to get one of these shirts, one of these baller ass shirts, you can go to yashike.moe/store, which has all the Yashike shirts and the NTR Radio shirt. To get there directly, you can just go to teespring.com/NTR Radio1, and that'll get you
where you need to go.
The NTR Radio shirt.
So there you have it. We also have some books VZ has been working on here.
Yeah, VZ has a book. It's the Big Book of Idols. You can find it at thebigbookofIdols.com.
There you go. And I'm pretty sure you can only get them digitally right now.
They are. You can get them physically.
Oh, they're on pre-order?
Well, it's print on demand. So you order them, then they'll print them, and then they'll send them to you.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you can do that way too.
Yeah, you can also get them digital.
It's nearly every Idolmaster character.
Yeah, how many is there exactly?
A lot.
Well, yeah, I figured that. Mucho.
Well, put it this way. We currently it's 4 books. The consolidated book is something like 200 something pages long.
Wow. Yeah, that is a lot. No doubt about that.
There was the shiny colors one that I just completed.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Working on
maybe down the line you should do one of Mecha because you're really good at those.
Yeah, you know what? I was thinking of just doing one day I might do a sort of my digital art, like just like my Moe and Mecha art.
Yeah, I'd be all over that.
I'm 100% down to publish that for you.
All right. I want to wait until at least I'm done with this, and then
yeah. Don't put too much on your plate.
Yeah, one thing at a time.
Yep. So, who wants to go first on the adventures since we've last been on here?
Actually, can I go? Because I got
sure.
Do it.
All right. So, I picked up a new show that
Is it airing right now?
Yes,
okay.
I haven't. Which I didn't. It was one that I was thinking of, but then I was like, but then I heard a lot of people talking about it, and I was like, all right, let me check it out. And that is Cells at Work.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm actually enjoying it.
I actually heard something funny about that.
What?
Because of how cute those characters are.
Yeah.
A lot of otaku are actually starting to eat better and stuff. Like, it's not even a joke. There was a big thing on like either 4chan or something like that like they started like trying to eat and like, you know, better and things like that, basically better nutrition and all that. I was like, what the hell? And there was a great joke about it. It's like talking about Abe, he's like, he did it again. I just thought that was funny.
First it was Darling in the Franxx, now it's Cells at Work.
Like
he's changing otaku society anime by anime.
Yeah, I mean that's silly and everything, but you do have to wonder sometimes.
No, anime changes lives. Like, this is real.
It's also suffering.
Well, of course.
I mean,
I love the platelets.
Anime is suffering. Gotcha. I mean, just the words of the Buddha, you know. Well, he said desire is suffering.
Those platelets are walking diabetes makers.
Or not desire, existence. I skipped ahead. Wrong noble truth. Sorry.
Yeah, it's also I like that it's educational also.
Well, I've already seen "Don't Loot the Platelets" floating around, and I'm like, really?
Yeah. Well,
here's a question I've got for you guys, and I'm kind of joking, but I'm also kind of serious. It's like, what? Why did they do that? Like, is it just like a joke, or is it like, are they serious? I mean, and if so, don't they realize that that's just going to invite more people to do it?
I'm sure some people see it as a joke, but I'm sure a lot of people see it as serious. And
because I keep seeing it, like every season, there's something like that.
For some reason, they're part of their like.
Don't loot the horses,
or the lowly dragon, or whatnot.
Exactly.
And it's like, okay, I get it. It's probably a joke originally, but it's one of those things like waifu, where it was kind of a fun kind of wink wink nudge nudge thing, but then people started taking it seriously.
Yeah.
And getting like ridiculous about it, like fighting with their friends and shit. We got a reply. Gray Forrester says, reverse psychology. See, that's what I was thinking. Almost like it's like, this will get those lewds out faster.
Yeah, I part of me likes to think it.
Part of me wants to believe that
it's reverse psychology.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So continue on.
Other stuff this season. You know, Bill Divers is still airing, which is
yeah.
I
need to catch up on that.
I keep forgetting about it. I don't know why.
I will say one thing in the last episode that I really liked. A Red Gundam Mark II.
Ooh.
That sounds rather exotic and fun.
I'm down with that.
One scene, but it was still like, I was like it when they.
I'd still be up for it.
I like it when they take a particular mobile suit design and just like change the color, make it like.
Interesting. I'll have to look into that.
I really need to catch up on Bill Divers.
Me too. I'm completely lost on that.
But the show for you, K-Gods, has to be Asobe Asabase.
I think that was one I was actually looking at.
That you're gonna really like that one. It's so shameless. Let me tell you what happened in today's episode.
Okay.
Okay, I gotta describe the scene. So, they were taking a book that had, like, school controversies,
Uh-huh.
and they were like in a room, and it was like dark. But then, like, the student council president walks in. It's like, oh, I forgot something, and the three main characters were under a desk. One girl's butt was shoved into the other girl's butt. I really hope she doesn't fart right now. I gotta let my butt breathe is the way she lets out one of the, like, she's like a silent but deadly one.
That's fantastic. The symmetrical butt docking. No, that's legitimately amusing. Because you normally don't hear that kind of humor in a lot of anime.
It's one girl's butt in another girl's face. That's what was going on.
Well, but it's true though. You don't hear like body odor, or hygiene kind of humor like that usually.
Right.
That's more.
That's not really a Japanese sense of humor. They're not. They don't appear to really be big on like fart jokes and things.
Like excrement and such, but it's very rare for like anime stuff.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm not saying in their regular lives. I don't live there, so, but I'm pretty sure it's not very anime centric with that.
Right.
I mean, because how many can you really name fart jokes in anime? Not a whole lot.
No, I mean the last one was like Galco.
Yeah. Right, and that was sort of like makes you wonder if they were like fans of South Park or something. Maybe not. I don't know. I haven't read anything with those, but I honestly hope that team of creators actually does some more stuff.
Great Forrester says, there's hints in Lucky Star, all the cut-off conversations about stinky stuff.
Yeah, which I can already hear Sneaky One getting excited from here.
Oh, I told them about a Sobe. I said, oh, you need to check out this girl.
Oh, okay. I guarantee he's watched it by now.
My girl's armpits. Yeah.
So what else you got?
Let's see. Cheese School Road. I'm enjoying.
That's another one I need to check out.
Oh, yeah, the fact that she's a Westerboo for video games. She even talks about like she doesn't like JRPGs because the perception, the overseas perception is that they look gay.
Wow, that's interesting.
Our games, all the characters are like middle-aged and ugly.
Right, middle-aged balding dude.
Yeah. Oh, so basically the stereotypical Dojin, not protagonist, but guy, the faceless, balding, fat guy that's usually plowing.
Well, yeah, except less fat.
But like just or not fat, but just like again like the gruffled type of
average mid-30s white guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With some like facial hair type.
Oh wow. Okay. Interesting.
Maybe facial. I don't know. But what else? What's the other things I'm watching? Cause there's Crack Girls, aka Cinderella Girl Theater.
All I can do when I hear that is imagining like girls that live in the inner city addicted to crack, but like it's almost like a show like Friends, except there's crack involved.
See, my conception is that that's the new A&E documentary. First it's Kids on Slope, now it's Crack Girls.
Well, you do know that it's not on A&E, I don't think. I can't remember where it's at, but there actually is a show about crack.
Oh, I guarantee you there's a show about crack.
No, it's called Snowfall.
Oh yes,
it's an actual show. I don't know if it's any good. It could be, but I think it's more about like the drug dealing and the drama and stuff than the actual usage of it.
Episode 2, I thought it would have been more interesting because I thought it would have actually talked about like this is where crack came from.
Oh yeah, yeah, and then it just shows the CIA headquarters. I'm kidding.
It's just like a lot of drama stuff.
But that actually is a sort of a weird thing that a lot of people actually believe.
Oh, it's a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, but it's a popular one though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they made that joke on, I think it was American Dad or something, because it's Patrick Stewart is the big guy there. For some reason, the head of the CIA in that show is British. Yeah. And he's like, sure, we introduced crack cocaine into the inner cities. And he's like, but we also came up with malt liquor. We never get credit for that one. Oh, wait a minute. Gray Forster also says, my favorite hentai trope, the fat, bald, sweaty, Middle Ages guy. Not. Yeah, it's that's one of those things I don't know why they're popular, because... Well,
it's like you need a nondescript dude to include in the hentai. But part of it is like he also needs to be disgusting as a way of debasing the character.
I guess. I mean, when I think of that sort of thing, I think of those. I can't remember what they were called. I think they were called like Shusaku or something like that. The one with the janitor. There's like a series of ones with like.
I know which one you're talking about. I don't remember the
like
title.
some gravelly faced like
something to lecture.
Yeah, exactly. It's like him and a family almost. Like depending on which one it is, including Into the Afterlife, where they're like a ghost possessing people and shit, and they have eye catches too.
Oh yeah,
which is really really weird.
He possesses a slide because they've seen that image.
Oh yeah, yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Some messed up stuff comes out of there. I'm kind of glad hentai's moved away from that, to be honest, a little bit, because that's just like, I get it. It's supposed to be, sort of dark and, seedy and all that, more so than usual. But it's like, I can deal without most of it being like that.
Right.
These days. I mean, sometimes it's interesting just for the shock factor, or in your case, for fodder for your panels occasionally.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to run out of material anytime soon. Or new material, rather.
Hope not.
Well, yeah, that would just be like, played out recording or something like
exactly.
that. Nah, you're never going to have that problem.
Yeah.
You know how creative some of these people are?
So it's a gift and a curse.
It's another shameless show.
What's that?
Sunohara So.
Oh, okay.
That's another one I need to pick up.
Is that the one with the Shota thing?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. The one that we predicted would be the screaming fest of the season.
Nobody picked it up.
Yeah.
So like
it's not streaming anywhere.
Yeah. Okay. Why am I not surprised?
I'm really worried for when the show next season comes out. The one about the lesbian lolicon and the Russian loli by Dogakobo.
Right.
It's like, are we gonna have a repeat of that situation?
But every season there's a certain group or demographic of the anime. I don't even want to say fan base to some extent, but amongst anime people, there's always a group of people that lose their shit every time one of these types of shows comes out.
Yeah.
And you would think they would know better.
Well, it's because it's like
this stuff continues to exist. Why are you surprised every season?
Yeah, because they have no history. Despite some of these people watching anime since, the Toonami days or even older, they still don't know anything about of course they're gonna keep making stuff like this.
That's the terrible excuse, because if you pay attention for 3 seasons, you'll notice a pattern that every season is gonna have.
As your fan service shows, it has your really kind of outlandishly, possibly offensive stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Why? So you notice that pattern, and you're like, okay. And if you're a normal person, you're like, okay, I'm just gonna not watch any show that's like this.
Or it's made by studio, whatever.
Yeah, or
But
yeah,
you
you
know-
notice the common whatevers toward these shows.
Most studio field shows are fairly perverted.
But these people want to complain. That's my point.
Oh yeah, that complaining is freaking it's financially in.
I wouldn't even say, well, considering A&N's current financial situation, I wouldn't even say that.
I should have said it was in. Much. I could go there. Funny joke with that, but it would not be appropriate for this show. So
anyway, what else you got, VZ?
I mean, that's about it. There's, what's it, One Room, the second season for that. What's the other one? Oh, the Pantsu one. I Look at You. What was it?
Oh yeah, I watched the first 4 episodes of that.
Yeah, me too. Isn't it? Great?
It's
It gives you exactly what you want.
yeah, it's exactly what it says on the tin.
which is always a nice feeling. Like it doesn't try to. You don't even have to engage in caveat emptor.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Another
just
season.
It's just if you're watching this show, you know exactly what you're in for.
yeah. I mean,
You have no
it's
excuse.
Another
yeah. I mean, it's like if Senran Kagura was called actually what we jokingly do call it.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
exactly.
Lesbian booby ninjas. I mean,
Lesbian titty ninjas. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, would that really be a bad name for that show?
Yeah, it would describe exactly what the show is like.
It might pee off some amen though,
So
which wouldn't even be would be inaccurate because they've got pretty good ones in that department too.
That's about it.
Okay.
I actually, one more thing. I actually did watch the, okay, I told you about a mecha show from '84 called Gallant.
Yeah.
Well, after the series, there were 3 OVAs. 2 of them were a compilation, and the third one was an original reimagining.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I watched, the 3rd episode from, because they're doing Robot Damashi.
Okay.
That. So it's like I wanted to see just in case. It was actually pretty cool. It was a little bit of boring in the beginning because it was like just talking heads and not much action. But then when like when the mechas start doing stuff, then it gets really cool. Weirdly enough, I remember in the early 90s, around that period, like let's say 92, 93, around that period when I was just learning what anime was, I actually saw a kit for one of these designs by none other by Max Factory.
Huh.
It was one of the Centaur mecha.
I bet it's worth a pretty penny these days.
Which is funny because again, it's one of those designs that it's like maybe because it was that stuff was new to me, but because also it was such a unique design that it kind of stuck in my memory to see this like red Centaur mecha with like spikes on his shoulder.
Yep, sounds cool. That's one of those things you just hear it and it goes, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's always a
it's the, even though it's not what he uses later on, it's the main protagonist's mecha. It shows up in like one scene and then it's like that's it.
Yeah. Always a okay. I'll go ahead and go next if you don't mind.
I was just gonna say that's one more thing. That's the kind of problem with a lot of these mecha things where it's like when you end up watching some of them and then it's like, it just shows up for like one scene and then that's it.
Yeah, it's almost like that's a tease.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not fair. That's like when you see it in a preview for the next episode almost. It's like, ooh, and then it just like it's almost in there as long as it was in the actual preview, and you're like, this is a bunch of bullshit. Okay, so I went on vacation. That's why we couldn't do it last week. Sorry. I went to Las Vegas.
Vegas, baby.
Yes.
Do I have a Vegas drop in? I don't think I do.
Maybe the Sonic Rings.
Yeah, I was just thinking that exact thing.
Close enough.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Because I know it's not like this in real life, but every time I think of Las Vegas, there's a small part of me that conceptualizes it as just
Casino night.
Yeah, real life casino night, where it's nighttime all the time. It's never daytime there. There's just pinball flippers floating in the sky.
And if you lose, spikes come after you.
Yeah. Dr. Eggman personally like impales you.
You get yourself trapped in this little cage thing and hope and pray for anything but the 3 Eggmans, because if you do,
you're in for some pain.
You just end up with a whole bunch getting these spike balls thrown at you. And it's always playing smooth jazz all the time. And it's not even coming from anywhere. You just
it's just like mysteriously in the air.
Like as soon as you cross into Vegas city limits, you just start hearing smooth jazz.
Okay. Some of that's actually true. Some of it's not, but like obviously there's a day, and and they also don't usually play smooth jazz. They actually play closer to house music and things like that, or techno and booming really loud. Like you could hear it from like Fremont Street, and stuff like that.
See, because I like house music, but I always conceptualize casinos with smooth jazz, and I don't know why, because I've never been inside a casino that's actually playing smooth jazz.
Yeah, me either for that matter.
Sonic the Hedgehog games.
Figures. But okay, so got a lot of stories here. I'm not gonna say all the details, but I will say that my predominant purpose wasn't actually to gamble. That's all I'm gonna say.
But come up here for that.
Well, what, Atlantic City?
No, Foxwoods, Mohegan Sun.
Okay. Well, although I even though I didn't go to gamble, I sure did because the driving there is fucking insane. Like,
that kind of gamble.
Yeah, I mean like their freeways are nuts. It's one of those things where they built the place before they actually had the level of population they do.
Right.
They built all the infrastructure like that. It's like St. Louis is the same way. Places like that.
So it's just like the East Coast. Nice.
Yeah.
It is. It's very much like, I mean, you literally probably could live there without a car if you use public transportation.
Because where I live, it's kind of like the same thing where it's like over capacity.
Oh, it's absolutely insane. Like you have a 5-lane, stretch, and you got to be on the other side of it entirely.
It's only in the past.
That's not fun.
It's only in the past 20 years.
Well,
it's been like this.
Let me give you a little story about this. I think you'll get a laugh. Anubis knows where I'm already going with this, and I'm telling it anyway because I think the listeners will get a laugh out of it. Yeah. So I'm driving around, and it's a pain. I'm not going to lie to you. Like if you want to flip on your turn signal and make a right or left, they're not going to let you in. You have to be aggressive a little bit because they're not just going to be like, oh, okay, please come inside. That's not how this works. So if you get stuck in a lane that turns off in a direction you don't want to go, you're stuck going there. Yep. The only real solace you get from that is the fact that it's easy to get turned around. No matter where you go there, because it's all you got to do is head toward the strip or whatever. You or just know some basic streets or whatever, kind of put them to memory. But it's not easy getting around. But I've got a story that you guys are you're gonna love this one. Anubis knows where I'm going with this already because I actually told him about it already. So I'm using GPS because what can I say? I'm not familiar with the area. It's very new to me.
Well, you're using GPS because it's 2018.
Yeah, and I don't know the roads or anything.
What do you need to do? Use a map?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going down, and GPS tells me this happened twice, by the way, 2 fucking times. So I'm going down the road. I get to the stoplight, and the GPS says to turn left. So I turn left into a one-way. Coming one-way. It happened 2 fucking times. It's like, GPS, we need to talk. So it's like, holy shit, it sent me down facing other cars. What the hell? Somebody needs to be in trouble for this besides me. So it's like, I ended up just hopping over the median both times. It's just like, fuck this. It's like, but that's just a weighing option. It's like, try to turn around and fuck up traffic or possibly get hit, or cross it and go the way you need to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and apparently this is actually not a new phenomenon for people. This is pretty common there. It's people are just, if you don't live there, I don't envy you driving around. Let's just say that. It's a cool place, but that is probably my number one complaint.
That was like me in NYC.
So you know what this means, right?
And
Guys,
I wish I had the sound bite. I do wish I had this sound bite as a drop in.
I was the hashtag jackass going the wrong way down the one way. Like as soon as it happened, once I got my bearings and stopped freaking out because I had to go over the thing, the first thought in my head was, oh crap. That didn't just happen. I was the guy I was talking about in the infamous bit at the end of the hashtag jackass episode. I am that guy right now. Wow. So maybe I was right. Maybe we shouldn't have made fun of him. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. So now that we got all that out of the way, let's talk about the fun stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Casinos everywhere, of course. And at night, it's quite beautiful, actually.
Giant pinball flippers.
All the all the neon and all that. Plus, I even saw the famous "Welcome to Fabulous Las Vegas." You know, the diamond.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that, and it's like, and I saw some of the places that are in the movies too. You know,
guy that goes, the giant cowboy that goes like this.
No,
they took that down.
I don't know if they did. I just didn't see it.
Well, I know because I was bored one day and spent a lot of time on Google Earth. I know it's kind of a museum, but there's like a giant scrapyard that they discard all the old decommissioned like big neon signs and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, there is one of those. You're right. And I'm gonna get into that. So again, I got a lot to talk about here. Some of the things I did while I was there. First off, when I was in the hotel, I actually did something that it's not really anime related, but I thought I'd throw it out there anyway. I like animation in general.
Yeah.
I mean, so I always try to keep a kind of an eye and ear to what's going on over here domestically. Just because. And I ended up catching up on some like Pixar and stuff movies I hadn't seen.
Right.
And I had pretty good time doing that. I liked some a little more than others, but I didn't really hate any of them.
Right.
Per se. Or anything like that. Threw in a few Disney ones too. Again, I haven't watched too many Disney movies in a while, so also checking back in with them. And if you want, I'll go into more detail, but that's really all you really need to know. Although I did see two of them particularly that are kind of infamous for apparently giving a lot of people feels, which are Up and Inside Out. Two different shows. Those are not just one title. For those who have no idea what I'm talking about.
Right.
Anyway, they were good.
I've seen a little bit of Inside Out.
Yeah, it's actually pretty creative, actually. The way they have like the personas of different emotions.
Yep.
I like that they got Lewis Black to play anger. That's perfect.
Good casting.
Yeah, that was a great idea. It made me laugh the whole way through because of that. Anyway, besides that though, did go to a few things. The hotel I was staying at was pretty cool. It had like an indoor bar and grill kind of area. Was a little the food was good, but it was one of those things where the food's good, but still overpriced.
Naturally.
Okay. There's a McDonald's in there too, which I ate before I actually left.
That's always a good call.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to be hungry on the plane. Other things I did. Well, I mean, went and saw a couple of just curiosities and whatnot. I went to Caesar's Palace. That was a big thing.
Ooh.
Again, complaining about the.
So that's like the marble zone inside the casino night zone.
Yeah. It's interesting for sure. I mean, yeah, you got all these like designer clothes and all that crap.
Naturally.
But you also got a bunch of other interesting stuff, like all the statues of like Augustus Caesar and, Neptune and things like that.
Right.
Some animatronics and all that kind of stuff. Nice ice cream that I ate there. It was really good. Gelato. Yeah, it was good. It's good. But the cool place in there, and this is the place you would have been all over in Anubis, was a place called Antiquities. I think that was it. Yeah, Antiquities. They had antiques and things like that.
Right.
It was a big store. I think that was the name of it. It was a big store that had tons of memorabilia, like tons of it, like a lot of presidents' signatures.
Ooh.
Lots of, famous musicians and actors and sports players and just like things that were like gold records and things like that, a bunch of stuff like that. You would have liked that they had a Prince one.
Ooh.
That was signed too. Yeah, it was like a couple $1,000, but
Naturally.
but a big fan might want it.
Oh yeah.
I saw another one that was an iron. This was the big jewel for me. A couple of them was Iron Maiden. They had the Somewhere in Time like LP, and it was all signed.
Nice.
Yeah, and they had all kinds of other stuff like Friedrich Nietzsche. Sorry, my throat got stuck. And there's even one of Stalin too.
Ooh.
Joseph Stalin. Yeah, not even a joke. They also had like a bunch of sports players, and I mean, I'm trying to think of some of the other more ones that stood out. They had like presidents. They had a ton of them.
Naturally.
I believe they had one of Teddy Roosevelt. I know some of the older
ones. What are these signatures?
Yeah. Yeah, actual signatures from said presidents. I believe they also had one from, I don't know. They also had some of the like main people in the Confederacy even there too.
Ah.
They even had like, General Lee and all that.
Right.
Which I'm sure is worth a lot actually.
Yeah.
I would not want to have to pay for that. The thing is, you couldn't take pictures in here.
That kind of makes sense.
It makes sense. I know why. It's because like it might mess with the signatures or something. Maybe the flash or something like that.
Definitely not the flash. Yeah.
Yeah, but they said no pictures, and it's
makes
it's like being in the Sistine Chapel. You're not really supposed to be taking pictures. And all that crap. Or probably in the Louvre either.
Yeah.
I doubt they let you do that. But it's totally worth going if you're in the area. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to see in that store. It's really cool. There was some like fine art places too that kind of popped in, see what they had.
Right.
There's a lot of really great Monopoly themed art, like the old man from the Monopoly board.
Mr. Moneybags.
Mr. Moneybags, that's his name, right? Where there's the one where it shows the stock market crash and he's doing the shoulder shrug thing, like it was great.
Okay, all right. Quick question. This is serious.
Mm-hmm.
Which Monopoly piece?
Oh, for me?
Yeah, for all three of us.
Okay, I usually pick the boot.
I haven't played the game in like decades, but I would go with the thimble.
See, I always pick the battleship.
Somehow that doesn't surprise me. I was thinking that or the cannon. There was also stuff like Al Capone, Harriet Tubman, MLK, all kinds of stuff. That's just all kinds of stuff. If you like history, or sports or music, there's a lot to look at in there. It's very cool, and I wholeheartedly recommend if you're in the area to check it out. Oh, parking sucks too, by the way. Like you have to do the thing where you go into those ground level parking spots.
Oh, another thing.
Parking garage.
Yeah, parking garage where it's like, and those are confusing as hell, by the way, because the way they're set up. But I went to some other places too. I actually went and saw Zumanity, which is sort of like the Cirque du Soleil stuff, but it's like sort of it's got a more erotica element to it.
Oh.
And I did that because it seemed interesting. I mean, it kind of had and there were some ripped people there. Like there was this one guy that was swinging on this chain or whatever. Like you had to see it to understand what I'm talking about. Like the amount of upper body strength you'd have to do to pull off this shit is unreal.
Oh yeah, these people are ridiculously athletic.
Like, and there was this one guy that was like, I mean, it was almost painful to watch. He would just like get out of his joints and stuff. Like he would like roll his shoulders out of joint and like spin his bottoms. Yeah. Like it was almost hard to watch. It's like it made you almost uncomfortable.
Basically like a Joe Swanson.
Yeah. So that was some cool stuff. Let me think of what else we did. While I was there, what I did while I was there, rather. Shit, I lost track of what I was actually looking at.
You were talking about Zumanity.
Yeah, which was at New York, which has a lot of cool stuff. Like it looks like downtown New York. It's got like old downtown New York, like with the street signs and the cobblestone kind of floors and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, like for horse and buggy almost or whatever. And they had a bunch of cool like old neon signs for Pepsi Cola and all this other cool stuff. They even had an arcade in there.
Oh.
I didn't get to stop and play there though because otherwise I'd ran out of time.
See, so I live by a couple casinos. Mohegan Sun's one of them, and it was a birthday party. It was a birthday party back when I was a kid, and they have this place. I think it's called Kids Quest, where it's like a miniature Chuck E. Cheese inside the casino. So they've got a whole bunch of arcade games, and I think they have some like console stations there too, and they have the ball pit and the thing there. But they also have an arcade in there, I believe, and I've never been in there because I've never really like gotten the chance to. But I should probably go there because there's been like no good arcades here for the past 2 decades.
Right, and there actually are quite a few arcades littered around Vegas. So, letting you know.
Find out if any of them have Virtual on, so I can go there, set the high score, and leave immediately. That's my new quest. I'm gonna go and set the high score on every Virtual on cabinet, and then leave immediately.
I mean, there's so much to do there.
You're gonna buy your own Virtual on cabinet.
Those are my 2 goals. It's that. And beat an 8-year-old at Virtual On, and then throw a lavish party where he isn't invited.
Okay, so I didn't nearly do all the things I wanted to do there. So next time I end up going there at some point, I'll actually do the other half of things I wanted to do because there was just so much to do.
Right.
And so little. So I was there for about 5 days roughly.
Right.
Okay. And okay, I'll talk about food because why not for a little bit. We don't talk about food on this podcast very much, but you know, when you're there, you know, you try to eat somewhat either more exotically or just find stuff that's local.
Right.
Just to see what it's like. There was a Japanese barbecue restaurant I went to. It was called, and so that's kind of anime, right? It's Gyukaku, I think. Is what it was called. First off, that server was awesome because every time I ran out of drink, like he swung by and came back without even being prompted. Like it was really fast, and the service there is excellent across the board.
Yes, yeah, the higher class places usually have really good service, like exceptionally good.
But even just your basic stuff, like your basic drive-through or anything, was just really good service.
Oh.
So I think it's because that's a place where you can't really screw around or you will be replaced real quick.
Right, yeah.
The competition is probably stiff. So that's probably the most unique place I ate. Because that's a Japanese barbecue restaurant. I mean, doesn't get much more unique than that, probably. Did eat at some basic places like IHOP or whatnot.
Naturally.
No, I didn't have their burgers.
I've not eaten in an IHOP in, again, over 2 decades, I think.
But here's another thing I ate there that's not anywhere else. It's only in that area of the country, kind of on the western kind of part of it.
Right.
And that's an In-N-Out.
Okay. I get mixed up because none of these burger places are around me. Is that the place with the really extensive secret menu?
Maybe I wouldn't know. I just got I got something that was on it. So.
Yeah, 'cause, like there's like of a, if you remember the episode of SpongeBob where Bubble Bass comes in and orders that ridiculous burger, like all those terms are in and out terms. So it's like I have a 4x4 animal style with yeah. So like that's all based off of the In-N-Out secret menu. If In-N-Out is the correct burger place, which it might not be. I remember listening to another podcast and they were doing a huge breakdown about
like
the
food
secret menu.
Oh, it was a secret menu. Okay.
In general, because you know McDonald's has a secret menu.
Most places do.
Yeah. You ever had a McGangbang?
No, but if I have a feeling if I actually asked for one, they'd be like, "What the fuck?"
They probably would. Which is why you take a McDouble and a McChicken, you split the McDouble between the two burger patties, and then you put the McChicken in on top of one of the burger patties, and then put the rest of the McDouble on top of that.
Onto a sandwich.
That's a McGangbang.
Oh wow, yeah. Normally when I hear about those are usually like drinks or something. Anyway, though, to continue, really good place. They said it's the best burger joint around. I concur. It was really good. So if you're in the area and you've never had it, definitely go. It's not really a chain. Or it's not really a franchise because it's only in that area. It's only in kind of the like southwest and west part of the country.
Well, it's not a big franchise. It's still a franchise, but it's not a like.
Well, even on the bag it says we are not a franchise.
Oh, okay, so it might not be a franchise.
Yeah,
or it might be a franchise, and they're just trying to advertise it as not a franchise.
Right. Well, in any case, it's not around where I live.
Yeah.
So I checked it out at behest of a bunch of people that I know that live like in Arizona or in that general environs. And no, it was as good as they said. It really was. It was excellent. Their burgers are killer. And what else did I see there that was cool? I went down the strip, just kind of taking in the sights and all that at one point. And you got to see a lot of neat stuff there. You'd see like the Bellagio. Where you'd see these really awesome like water, like I almost said water sports. I almost said water sports. That's not what I meant.
Did you go to the Brennan Ranch?
No. But no, they have these like water shows. That's what I was actually thinking. In front. It's
a giant fountain.
Yeah.
It's like a giant array of fountains controlled by a huge computer. Very sophisticated technology.
The only problem with those things is you can't just stop and take the picture while you're driving it or you're riding around.
Yeah.
I mean, that you have to stop and park, which usually costs you money, by the way.
Yep.
They nail you at toll booths pretty much. Well, it's not really technically a toll booth because you don't throw coins or whatever in. What ends up happening is you take a ticket, you park, and then you put the ticket in, and it sees how long you've been there, and then it charges you.
Yeah, basic parking lot or parking complex procedure.
Yeah, basically your big city parking procedure. Yep. Other places I've been to are just like LA or whatnot. By the way, LA is actually worse in terms of traffic, if you can believe that.
Oh, if I'm not mistaken, that's like the worst traffic in the U.S. at least.
Yeah, it is absolutely insane. And same thing. If you want to go anywhere, parking is pretty much a pain in the butt.
Yep.
Even if staying at a hotel, you pretty much have to have the valet take it, and you got to pay them or whatever.
So it's like around in Connecticut, we have places that kind of pretend to be big cities but aren't really. So like you'll go to Norwich or something like that, and they'll have parking structures, but they're free. They're either free or they cost a trivial amount of money. But like we don't have a lot of parking meters around here. But like when I went up to Canada, it was in this place called Corner Brook, Newfoundland, which is basically the second biggest city on that island. But it's not like a New York style place.
Did everyone have the infamous accent?
There was plenty of accents going on out there.
How much of them were turns in Philippi?
There were no flip
I'm
top
not-
heads in Canada Land. I'm sorry to disappoint.
I'm not your friend, buddy. I'm not your
buddy, friend. Yeah, yeah.
Though people were very polite.
Oh, yeah. The whole super polite Canadians thing.
But no, but like that place
In
had
Alcatraz.
parking meters, and I was like, I was kind of weirded out. Like, this place has parking meters.
It's like, hey, wait a minute here. Yeah, well, which Nevada is another state in the feather on my cap, because I've actually been to about 27 or so states.
I have not been to nearly that many.
I've actually been to quite a few. Now, granted, when it was largely from travel, like road trips and stuff, and not actually staying in them, maybe except for a hotel or stopping to eat and use the restroom or examine something or whatever. It still counts, as far as I'm concerned. By the way, avoid Nebraska. Sorry, there's nothing there, man. There's not.
Okay, are we counting states that you drove to or states that you drove through?
Both.
Okay.
In
that case, I've been to quite a few.
Okay. Yeah. Now, actually hanging out in them, probably less than that.
Yeah.
But, but hey, I've been to quite a few of those too, just in that way. Because the thing is, I would like drive up to Idaho from where I am.
Right.
Or something like that. But when I would come back, I wouldn't come back the same way I came. I'd actually loop.
Oh.
Do like a one big loop. So you're going through other places on the way back. Then
I do that locally. Like I'll go like across the river to say New London or somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll just take the long way going north or south and then loop around that way.
Right. That's actually the only spot of the United States I've actually never been in. And that's in the New England area. Yep.
Yeah.
So
no, I'm kidding.
Ouch.
No
words hurt, man.
This place is nice, just not the CT.
I've been to both Boston and Salem.
I've not been to Salem. I've spent plenty of time in Boston, given I was born there.
Because at the time, I found Boston kind of boring, but I loved Salem. I loved Salem.
I'd like to know what's boring about Boston, sir.
I'd like to know why he liked Salem. Is he like into witch burning or some shit?
I was in my knee deep in my Chunyism.
Oh, okay. So anyway, though, continue on. Just a little bit left that anybody cares about. I did squeeze in a little anime. I did watch the first arc, I guess is what you would call it, of Amagami SS.
Ooh, good call.
And I enjoyed it. It was very, very enjoyable.
Is Haruka best girl or is Haruka best girl?
Don't know yet. I haven't seen all of it.
Yeah. Well, the real answer is every girl in Amagami is best girl.
They all have their likable characteristics, I think. I did like the one thing that did make me laugh, and again, shows a very distinct difference between personalities here and there, is that the one kind of sassy girl, I can't think of her name, the one that was kind of messing with him a bit.
Kaoru.
Yeah, the
one who's called him a retard.
Sex hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they call it.
That made me laugh. She like hit him with the like paper wad, and they opened it up, and they called him, a tard.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny. But no, I enjoyed that. That's really most of the extent of the anime, because I had more stuff to be doing, like sightseeing and all that good stuff.
Yeah. Anubis needs to one day watch, just so that way, because you've seen Amagami,
yep,
you've seen Furokano, you've
yep,
seen Seiren, so
yep,
now you need to see Kimi-Kiss.
That's the only one I have left until they inevitably make a new one, which I hope they do, because let's continue that dynamic. Arc-based harem or romance comedies.
I love that. Yeah, I love
Yeah, it works really well because of the way they actually execute that.
Because no one gets mad. Because everyone gets their favorite girl's ending.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, it sounds kind of like a one-size-fits-all thing, and it sort of is, but
it works.
Well, yeah, you get that, Apple? It works.
They didn't do that in Kimi-Kiss. What they did in Kiss was they made two main characters when there was originally one in its game.
Oh, as an anecdote, I don't think it was the last night I was there, but the night before, we I think it was when I was in an Uber heading out back, to the airport, because obviously I had a rental car.
Yeah.
And all that. Had to take that back. And anyway, took the Uber, and there was a drunk guy shirtless in like shorts and like sandals just walking through the middle of the street, like completely like he was lost in the desert. It looked really weird. I mean,
Vegas, baby.
And it was like 3 or 4 in the morning.
Vegas, baby.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, but that was kind of comical. And, I'm trying to think if there was any other stops I really made that I can talk about. I mean, there was a couple things I looked at that looked like they'd be fun, but I didn't, have the time or the wherewithal to really get with it, which like some other stuff that looked cool was like Shark Reef. That kind of looked like it'd be neat, or a big aquarium or something like that. I didn't actually get to go into the Bellagio, and I kind of wanted to, but I did see the water show. So that was cool.
Yeah.
It's populated as hell.
Naturally.
Apparently it's like 600,000 or something in Vegas alone. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think they built things set up for that when they came up with the roads originally.
Yeah, probably not.
That's why it's as bad as it is. And I mean, and you drive fast out there too. I mean, like, 65 is a pretty normal speed to be going,
Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty normal.
Well, like down the strip?
Well, no, I don't think you could. It's too crowded. But like you get on like the
say.
freeway or the ramps or anything.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty average around here too.
Yeah, but let's not talk even about freaking Arizona where it's like 80 or some shit.
Yeah.
So now write a list. Places K-Gods will never visit.
Abu Dhabi.
San Francisco.
There are reasons I would go, but there are a lot of other reasons that would prevent me from going too.
Well, let's just knock off all the obvious places like Cuba.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to go anywhere where I'll be detained.
I'm not going to go anywhere where they've had a missile crisis.
No, yeah. or they don't want you to leave.
Like Cambodia. Oh, we're going to Cambodia. Isn't that where the Khmer Rouge happened? Yeah, I'm staying away from there.
Throne of Skulls. Pol Pot. Well, he terrorized that whole area.
It's legal. Still legal.
Vietnam. Fun stuff. I mean, they're interesting historically for sure.
Well, yeah,
but there are plenty of places that just, I don't know. Like there's some places in Latin and South America you wouldn't want to go as an American.
Yeah, it's probably a bad call.
Like El Salvador or something like that. Like or even Honduras, which is like I think the murder capital of the world. It's up there, I know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous. I think I read somewhere that the biggest like serial killer sprees are actually from Colombia and Honduras.
Considering, I think like there was like 10 to 40 murders in one night or something like that, or one weekend in like Chicago. I think that's a place I wouldn't want.
It is.
Town.
Yeah. The Windy City also means the deadly city. Silent but deadly. See, I'm bringing the conversation back to the fart jokes.
Yes. I was just like.
Yeah. No. So it was
pretty much.
So
I think that's the most immature drop-in we have.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. But yeah, that's about it. I mean, there were a couple other things, but I mean, the food was pretty good. I ate somewhere different pretty much every time I had a meal. Just so like any kind of there wasn't like a habit or anything going on. It was kind of just like, well, I'll eat something different every time I eat something.
Right.
Basically, somewhere different, just to kind of keep things a little more lively.
NTR Eats.
NTR Eats. I did eat Uber Eats at one point. I actually had them bring me Sonic because it was a little far away.
Oh,
yes.
Sonic Casino.
Not that Sonic.
Yes. Genesis.
Yes.
Hang on. I got more Sonic. No, not playing the whole drop-in.
No. See, that's what I heard when it arrived, and I picked it up at the bottom where they had the valet and Uber pickups and all that.
And K-Gods is holding up this Sonic bag.
Yeah. Yes. We're gonna start having ads for freaking food places after this episode. I'm kidding. We're not. This is just free advertisement for them. I don't know if they like that or not, to be honest. I don't think they want to be associated with this. Probably not. But you still can't stop me from eating there. So there you go. No, it was a good trip. Was out there for 5 days, and I kind of got used to the weather. So when I came back, immediately I was bombarded by allergens.
Hey.
Like, it's like, hey, it's nice and dry out here. You know, the heat is like 105, but it's like 7% humidity. You don't feel it except for just the rawness of it. It's like you come back here and it's the reverse. It's like 85 or 95, but the humidity is 70 something or 80. It's like, oh, it's worse here. I just love that. No, it was a good trip. I recommend, if you haven't been, definitely do it. It's totally worth it. There's a lot of neat stuff there. If you're a gambler, holy shit, hold on to your wallet. Because,
well, if you're a gambler, you're fundamentally not holding on to your wallet.
Well, yeah, that's true. But it's a really cool place. There's a lot of stuff to see. You do have to kind of be on your toes. There are some actual bad neighborhoods in Vegas.
Naturally,
North Las Vegas is like South Side Chicago. There's a lot of crime and unpleasantness there.
Just like what I described there.
Yeah, I don't think. Oh, a couple things here. I saw the Trump Tower.
Hey,
I couldn't get a picture, and I kind of wanted one too, just because. And this was kind of eerie. I won't lie. I saw the Mandalay Bay.
Oh, okay.
Like, and you could see where the windows were knocked out. You know what I mean? It's like, whoa, there's something eerie about that.
Still knocked out?
Yes, those windows are still knocked out. Yep.
Wow.
I think they're left that way because of the crime scene. I'm guessing.
Probably.
Yeah. And apparently there's people that want to stay there, like edgelords or some bullshit, like in those rooms or some crap.
You're always gonna have chasers out there trying to, who like really want to stay at the edge of this place,
or like a haunted hotel or whatever bullshit.
Right.
That was the thing. A lot of people thought it was haunted because he killed himself or whatever.
Well, yeah.
And there was like, yeah.
Or at least that's the official story. In any case, I just had to add that I saw those two and I forgot about it. I probably saw other things I'm forgetting, but I kind of want to pass it on to you, Anubis. Good time. If you want to check it out, it's well recommended. There's a lot of good things. Just make sure you have money for parking and are prepared for the traffic.
Yeah.
Because there is some absolutely batshit insane traffic. Take it away, sir.
Well, speaking of casinos, I actually went to Terrificon, which is it's a smaller size comic book convention out here in Connecticut at the Mohegan Sun Casino.
Mm-hmm.
Now, previously they had it was in like a kind of a ballroom complex place where like side rooms off to the side, which was a smaller area, but they built on this whole big expo center onto the facilities since. So it's actually a pretty sizable deal.
Mm-hmm.
But there I found a booth that was selling a whole bunch of retro video games.
Oh, excellent.
And at that booth, I found quite possibly the most extensive collection of Sega Saturn games I've ever seen at one of these retro game booths at a convention.
Oh boy, fun.
Which is all I'm on board with, because I never see Sega Saturn games at any retro game stores, at any of these retro game booths ever. So naturally I jumped on and I got a bunch of games. The first one I picked up, I actually already owned this, but the case that I have is kind of damaged, and I think there's some
what was this one, just in a lot better shape?
This one's in a lot better shape. I think the disc is actually in better shape too. This is Cyber Troopers Virtual On for the Sega Saturn.
Okay. The thing is about
go ahead.
The thing is about Saturn games is since Saturn kind of was a little iffy here in terms of being how it was promoted and everything, some of them are kind of hard to get.
Oh, yeah, you're about to see it.
That's the thing. A lot of the best games never even came out.
Yeah, that happened too, unfortunately, because they thought they were too Japanese or whatever.
They were too Japanese, and they got scared when the PlayStation, because the PlayStation was marketed as a 3D system, and so they were really at the Saturn as a 3D system, which there were 3D games, but it was
plenty
more of a 2D thing.
The next one I got in this is my ongoing quest to rebuild my Saturn library, which is one of my biggest regrets in life, was giving away my Saturn and all my games, most of my games, when I was a kid. But this is Sonic 3D Blast for the Saturn. The best version of this game.
The best version of it. Yep. Yeah. The Sega one is slow as hell.
Yeah, the
Genesis.
The Genesis one is slow.
Yeah, that's the only one I played, so maybe I should one day try to find a way.
Yeah, it's a lot better.
Hit up the Saturn version.
Okay.
Because you remember the special stage from the Genesis one, right? You remember how it's doo-doo?
It looked alright.
I do.
Yeah.
The special stage in the Saturn version is basically a full 3D recreation of the Sonic 2 special stage.
Oh, the half pipes.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And then I got these two games. This is a pretty famous Saturn franchise. Got Panzer Dragoon and Panzer Dragoon Zai.
I know those ones. Yep. I remember when those came out.
These two games I actually missed the first time around when I had my Saturn.
You know that there was an OVA for that, right?
Yep. Sure was. Didn't ADV put it out?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's one of those ones that's like never been license rescued, and like
yeah.
I also hear it's like kind of butt because it had like
kind of butt. It's kind of butt. That needs to be incorporated into my regular parlance. I like that.
Then I also they had a whole bunch of loose discs, so naturally I took a look at those.
Mm-hmm.
And I got Virtua Racing for the Saturn.
Okay.
Kind of the precursor to Daytona USA.
Oh, I played Virtua Racing, but not.
I'm assuming that you checked out the condition of all these.
Yeah, no, they look fine.
Not the Saturn one, but I tried 32X one.
Yep. So I think Virtua Racing came out on quite a few Sega consoles. I know there was a Saturn version. There's a CD version, I believe, and I know there's a 32X version.
No, there was a Genesis version, which was a very expensive cartridge.
Okay, it's the Genesis I was talking about, not the CD.
Yeah, there was a Genesis one, there was a 32X one, and then a Saturn one.
Yep. And then I got that, and then I got Virtua Cop 2, which is another Saturn game I missed out on back when I had my first Sega Saturn.
Did they have Japanese games there, or was it only domestic Saturn games?
They didn't really have any Japanese games.
Okay, I'm gonna recommend something, even though I never played it, but there is a it's a 2-game thing of Salamander, which was released here.
Okay.
Force.
Force, yep.
The second one, at least from what I've seen, looks amazing. What I love is the music. It's just really good like score that they did there. I mean, probably hard as fuck.
Well, certainly. I'm going to be bad at it because I'm terrible at scrolling shooters. And that's side-scrolling, like Gradius, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to be extra terrible at that one.
Side and then top to bottom, like Raiden.
So I guarantee you I'm probably going to be terrible at it because not only is it side-scrolling, but then it switches around, and that's just going to confuse me. Anyway, I picked up a couple Dreamcast games as well.
Oh, okay.
And in his effort to be Sega's #1 fan.
Oh, yeah, certainly. I picked up Time Stalkers. Now, this is a game that
I think I've heard of that.
If I'm not mistaken, it's sort of a spin-off from the Landstalker series.
Uh-huh.
But this is a game I picked up back when Blockbuster existed.
Right.
I picked this game up from Blockbuster and played around with it, but never really got very far in it. because I was like 11 and didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
But it's something I've always wanted to go back to because like reading up on it after the fact, it's got a lot of interesting mechanics. Like it's got randomly generated dungeons. So every time you go into the dungeon, it's a different dungeon each time. You could capture monsters and mix them around and stuff.
Sounds interesting.
And then the last game I picked up, there's a story with this one because
are you saving the best for last, or
I'm kind of saving the best for last, especially for this podcast, especially in this context. So the Geeky Panda was at that convention the day before me. I only went that Saturday.
Right. You went to shop, didn't you?
I basically went to shop. And the reason I went to shop was I was planning on going to the convention anyway, but the reason I made a beeline to this particular booth was because the Geeky Panda was there Friday, and we were chatting about the convention after he had gotten back home, and he sent me a picture of one of the booth managers holding up a game. Now, in his infinite wisdom, he didn't buy this game so he could clown on me about it for having missed out on it but not being there Friday, because it could have been there Friday. So, because you might remember a few episodes ago on this podcast, I talked about how I picked up the Japanese copy for Virtual on the Dreamcast, which I'd sniped from him when he had every chance to get it before I did. So he sends me this picture, and I'm like, "Hey, cool." In my mind, I'm like, if that's still there, I'm buying it immediately. So, long story short, I sniped from him Gundam Side Story 0079 Rise from the Ashes for the Sega Dreamcast.
Excellent.
This is such a it's such an outlier in terms of Gundam games,
because most of them are kind of iffy.
Well, there are plenty of fantastic Gundam games, but the thing about Rise from the Ashes is most of the time when you encounter a Gundam game, it's going to be in third person, where you're controlling the mobile suit, and it's kind of like an arcade game or more like a fighting game or stuff like that.
Okay.
This is your in ground combat first person perspective. So it's like you're inside the cockpit of this GM.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's more like a simulator.
I see where the appeal would be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like that game that I forgot, but it had that controller.
Steel Battalion, which I also own, except I don't own the controller, so I might as well not own the game, really.
So do you get to pick what kind of things you're in?
So there's the GM, there's the GM cannon, and there's all sorts of different kinds of GMs. I think at some point you might pilot a Zaku as well, but I don't know for sure. But you get to equip different weapons and whatnot. You get to choose your loadout, choose your team's loadout, because you're also commanding other people. It's a really in-depth game, and they don't I'm dissatisfied that they don't make a whole lot of Gundam games like this.
You'd think they would. That seems like it would go hand in hand with that.
It's like it's this game and Bonza the Battlefield, which is the Gundam arcade game with the huge panoramic pod you sit in. And those are the only two that I can think of that use this kind of perspective where you're actually inside of the mobile suit. And it's those two and Operation Troy or Mobile Ops The 1 Year War, which is basically a Gundam game that was made for the US market because it's pretty much Battlefield in the Gundam universe, except it never came out in the US. So it's only 3 games out of the plethora of Gundam games that play like this, even though the Gundam franchise is so conducive to this kind of gameplay in particular.
Right. So like I said, just you explaining that it's actually in first person and it's more like a simulator, I can easily see why that would be appealing.
It's really good. And it's got this sense of intensity, and part of it's unintentional because the control scheme is kind of iffy. because it's the Dreamcast. It doesn't have dual analog.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's kind of weird how you look around and stuff. But
So is it kind of like when the N64 came out and you're trying to look around in like Castlevania or something? It's like, what the fuck?
yeah, it's kind of like that.
It wasn't really. It's kind of stodgy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like they weren't really quite prepared for that yet.
Yeah, it's like they're desperately trying to make this thing work on a regular on a controller without dual analog, and they get there because there's this other game that for the Saturn, as a matter of fact, from a while back called Gen War, and that's the same sort of first person. You're inside of a powered armor in this game, and it's a great deal more arcadey than Rise from the Ashes. But the whole thing is, again, no dual analog. So you only have the D-pad and the buttons. So you're trying to slide around but they really do make it work. But it's in a very particular way where it's like, okay, I can see why exactly they picked this control scheme, because otherwise it just wouldn't work. The Dreamcast is kind of it's kind of a weirder sort of thing there, where it has less buttons than the Saturn does, so they kind of can't make it work as well, which is why the control scheme in Rise from the Ashes is so weird. But they do make it work about as well as they can for a Dreamcast controller. Anyway, speaking of Gundam, I finished off Double Zeta.
Excellent. So what did you think of it?
Definitely a good follow-up to Zeta Gundam.
A lot of people don't agree with that, but they're wrong.
Well, it's like, how are you gonna follow up Zeta Gundam?
Yeah, I mean, like,
what are you gonna do? Be more depressing?
How? Well, right, and the thing is I know based upon the Zeta movies, they've tried to almost excise Double Zeta out of canon.
Yeah, which is a mistake.
Which I don't like those Zeta movies, by the way. For that reason, I'm not going to go into the differences in them because those are spoilers, but
yeah,
and good ones. So yeah, so
but yeah, the ending, I'm sort of halfway on. It definitely didn't really have as much impact as Zeta's ending, or as much impact as Mobile Suit Gundam's ending.
No, I mean, like, everything from the get-go with that was kind of a little stilted, in the sense that they were trying to make it a little bit more not funny, but even though, yeah, and like about a little more than a quarter way through it, they kind of went, nah, this ain't working.
Yeah.
And it kind of just felt more like, okay, now they're moving back to sort of Zeta, but not quite as lethal in terms of that. Move to victory for that. Basically, Tomino basically said, I was depressed while making this. It's probably dark as hell.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, okay, so I finished Double Zeta. I have Char's counterattack on deck. And after I watch that, I will have closed the loop on all of early UC Gundam, from Gundam the Origin all the way up to Twilight Axis.
And then you'll watch my actual favorite Gundam, which is F91.
Yeah. Until narrative comes out, then it's narrative, but then
UC.
Roll into late UC with F91 and Victory.
And it is a really good time to be a Gundam fan right now. I mean, you could not ask for a better time to have an entry, because it's all pretty much available, most of it, on Blu-ray at that. For good deals, I mean, they come in 2 discs usually, like 1 to 25, 26 to whatever it is, or something like that. And again, it's all pretty much available. I think all of the UC stuff isn't it? For sure. I believe so.
Oh, what, here?
Yeah, I think all the Universal Century stuff actually is available now.
I'm waiting for, they haven't put on Blu-ray 0080.
No, but it's available.
Yeah. It's available. So it's like,
it's just at any moment.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's just what that's something.
That's just an eventuality.
It's like Origin Origin is going to be available here.
Yeah,
That's a
half
guarantee.
of it already is.
0079 is. Zeta is 0080. 8th MS Team, yep.
Stardust Memory. Yeah.
Double Zetas are available here.
Char's
Char's
Counterattack.
Counterattack is available
And-
here.
and-
F91, Unicorn.
Unicorn,
Now we're getting
Thunderbolt.
Tomino's other things here.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
That
actually
was
are.
stuff.
They're bringing Dunbine here.
Yeah, it just came out.
Yep. So if you're interested in seeing some of his other work, you'll get that chance too.
Yeah.
Discotech is releasing these things that are like C and D level robot shows, like Gorvarion. This Go Nagai thing from 1983. That's basically Mazinger in space.
Okay.
And clearly trying to because it came out in 1983. Clearly trying to ride the popularity of Gundam.
Right.
Because the main character looks just like Amuro, and they have their own version of new types also. So, but it's just weird. It's like this weird renaissance of things that license rescues and things that just never been available.
Yeah,
it's a great time to be a mecha fan in general.
Yeah, or even exactly. Especially, and if you're an old schooler, you're in a good shape too, because you've got a lot of old stuff coming out. You've got like companies like Discotech and Nozomi with Right Stuff, and they got like Dirty Pair and all that stuff. And Gundam and hopefully Macross.
Just a few more years.
Crossing my fingers. So and again, it's an uber good time to be a Gundam fan because there's so much coming, so much.
I still see Robotech shit come out like figure wise.
Oh, I get. They're gonna milk that for as long as they possibly can.
Yep. But we're in good shape though because like there's narrative coming out, which is I bet it's fantastic. If it's even 3/4 as good as Unicorn.
Seriously,
although
it's excellent.
Is very hilarious and meme worthy.
We got Hathaway's Flash coming.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, that's what.
Which means we're getting Crossbones soon and Sentinel soon.
I hope so. I really hope so. I was kind of starting to lose hope on that, but when they announced that, I'm like, well, maybe not. Yeah, it's a good time to be a fan. It really is.
Well, they haven't announced Crossbone, but I'm sure they will.
No.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We guarantee you, it's happening eventually.
You
gotta at least keep the hope up, VZ.
Yeah, you do.
The hope going.
An actual written story. It was photo books.
Listen,
listen.
Don't step on my dream, VZ. I want this to happen.
I mean, I know Crossbone is real popular with late UC people.
Well, Crossbone again. That has a manga.
Right, but I'm saying is it's got a lot of fan pressure and push.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee it comes out like all the old timer fans will be all over it. So should be interesting.
That would probably be a good 13 episode OVA series.
Yeah.
Or make it a TV series. Don't make it.
That's fine too. Or they could actually reimagine F91 as a series like they originally planned.
That would be nice.
I would be on board with that.
It would be interesting seeing that in kind of a not necessarily a modern art style, but done with modern technology.
Yeah.
Not a retelling, but maybe a follow-up would be interesting.
That too.
Because why mess with something that's already fine as it is?
A lot of people don't like F91 though.
Those people are like, those are the type of people who's like they always talk about what it was meant to be. What it was meant to be. It's like
rather than what it is.
What it is, and I love it. I love
it. I've never had a problem with it. Some people just don't like late UC either. They only like their Xeon stuff, which, you know, I mean, it's a close place to me too. I mean, like I told Anubis once that they could probably make an aspect of like a theater of the war or even a single battle or something and have like a couple OVAs around episodes around each one, almost of every major battle, and I'd totally be into it.
Oh, yeah, just pick a theater of the 1-year war, make a 13-episode OVA about it, and do that and just continue doing that in perpetuity. Just keep doing it.
Yep. I'd
You'll
be there
never
the whole
run
time.
out of content.
Yep. Not only would you not run out of content, but I'd be there every time.
And I would watch every single episode of every single one.
Yep. Me too. No shame in admitting that whatsoever.
Hey, they don't even need to like pick an established canon.
No, they can make one up.
They just make shit up.
As long as it's plausible.
Again, they need to every single Gundam OVA. They need to come up with a Gundam mobile suit developments project, and then just have all the data be deleted at the end of the series to cover it up.
Or it was so small.
And you can just keep doing that all the way through.
Right. And again, you could just pick major battles from even the shows themselves, like.
Or there's all sorts of like established side story stuff. Like they still haven't made an OVA about the Blue Destiny.
Right. You know what else they could do? I've always thought that they could take some bigger battles from Zeta and do that too.
Yeah.
Like you could like. And
I'm not just saying because I want to see more Hyzax in action.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, they're gonna give you 13 episodes of the Methus.
Oh,
come on! Don't do that, VZ. It's like there better be a Fa shower scene to make up for that.
He is wrong. The gentleman is wrong.
The development from the info from the Methus goes into development of a Gundam that just looks like the Methus.
Oh, so you mean Iron-Blooded Orphans?
Ouch.
Anyway,
we're gonna take our break.
We're up against the break. Keep it right here on NTR Radio.
Wait, no anime you watched?
Yeah, I said the anime I watched, Zeta Gundam.
Okay,
the double Zeta Gundam, yeah.
Double Zeta.
That was it? Okay.
So we're up against the break. Keep it right here on NTR Radio.
All right.
Let's hit that button. Then hit that button.
Right here.
And...
Oh, wait, what is it?
Oh, speaking of Sonic 3D Blast. There we go.
Do you have Sonic the racer? Wait.
Sonic R? Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Which track you want?
Yeah, I'm gonna go take care of it. Quick. Yeah, I'll be back.
What's the one? The Sunshine.
Okay, let me find the vocal version.
All right, I'll be right back.
Here we go.
Hello?
K-Gods is back.
Yeah, I had to get some water.
Get some
Do you
water.
ever? Yeah, well, I truly needed it, but
Turn my headphones up.
turn them
What?
shits up. What?
And speaking of
What?
which, write this number down.
Good times.
Turn them up.
Got a good idea for the sign off if you want to hear it.
Well, let's not say it here.
No.
now,
I'll send it
'cause
to you
we're doing-
elsewhere.
Yeah.
I'll send it to you in the chat. Think that would be sufficient?
I like it.
Or if you can think of something. Oh, I got another one too. Hang on. One other suggestion. Here's another one.
Ah.
Is that funnier?
What do you got? Stuff.
I like the first one. I like the first one more, actually.
Okay. I was just thinking of stuff. Normally you come up with them on the fly, I think.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't repeat it yet.
Oh, okay. No, sure.
Yeah, it loses its effect if it's said beforehand. Okay. So anyhow, all right, I'm ready. I had to just get something to drink. I was kind of parched a little bit.
We are ready to return as soon as I get the soundboard back up.
Okay.
It's like turn his headphones up.
Turn my headphones
Who
up.
wants to talk first?
Not me.
You can go first, VZ.
All right.
Okay. In 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to NTR Radio. So we're going to go jump into a selection of microtopics here. VZ has the first one. Go, VZ.
All right. So this is a thing I saw a thread on 4. I got this idea from a thread on 4chan.
Okay, we're off to a rough start already.
Yeah. It starts off with going like from the mid 90s when there was that relaunch of Star Wars Power of the Force 2 line. All the shelves are full to now, present time, and barely any Star Wars stuff, or just barely any toys in general. And it got me. It was like, so what causes one thing? You know, what happened between the interim? And kind of like, you know, I jokingly said, but in a way, it's kind of true. The slow death of Western civilization.
I can think of many other concepts that would be the cause of that, other than this.
It's kind of a leap, not gonna lie.
I understand that, but it's kind of like, in a way, do you see it as like this, almost like a canary in the coal mine?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Basically, you're saying you feel it's symptomatic of it.
Yeah, like that. But it's other things. It's like Toys R Us closing.
Well, to be fair, they actually made some serious business errors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of miscalculations. I mean, the whole Star Wars sequel things is
that destroyed a lot of people, in the sense that they thought they could just, it's Star Wars, we can sell it. But it turns out, no, you really can't. You actually have to have something more people want.
And I understand there's also things like online online sales and Amazon and
right.
You know, even I've said, I think also another thing that's kind of the people that do collect Star Wars, or just action figures in general, will just do the Japanese stuff.
Oh yeah, they when you're at a point where you're collecting all this stuff, you're gonna want pretty much the highest quality you can get.
Because that's I said, like, it's kind of almost well, here's the aspect. I know what collectors are buying.
Mm-hmm.
Me being one. But you know, where are the kids in this? They
Exactly.
just don't.
They're playing their Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I know
They're all
that's
playing Fortnite.
that aspect, but that people bring up all the time about like video games and all that. You know, because you know, what you could just play on your phone.
Living the incel lifestyle. You know all that stuff.
But I don't know. Well, for one, I have like no idea. I mean, there's no push to market to children the way there was in my generation.
I think there is. It's just they're not marketing that kind of stuff. They've changed priority.
Well, there's no dedicated Saturday morning block anymore. There's no.
Well, no, I think it's more it's more they're trying to get them into gizmos.
Well, yeah. Well, part of the reason there's no dedicated Saturday morning block anymore is because TV in general, like,
it is in bad shape.
Who's watching TV still?
I mean,
so people who
we'll put it this way:
watching TV and are like 40.
If I'm watching TV,
not even all of those people.
If I'm watching TV, it's stuff that's been on before.
Yeah,
it's not new material. It's syndication of stuff I already enjoy.
Right.
I mean, I don't go, whoa, what's the newest Ancient Aliens about? You know, which, by the way, just as an aside, that's really funny. Ancient Aliens passed CNN in terms of ratings. To be fair, I actually find that both appropriate and funny.
Hilarious.
Because while I don't care about the show, I do appreciate that they know how to market themselves, though. They do, because they've done well for a TV show of that nature. I mean, what season are they on? Like, it's some ridiculous number right now. Oh, speaking of which, again, not to get on a tangent here, but I noticed something today while flipping through the channels, and then I'll head it back to you, VZ. Okay, so they were on the movie channels, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, you know, they were playing Sharknado and whatnot, which got a laugh out of me. But did you know how many of those there are now?
What, Sharknadoes?
Yeah.
There's 6.
Oh, yeah, Sharknado.
Yep.
There are 6 Sharknado movies. What the hell? Like,
don't know how that happened, but yep.
Like, did one just come out every year since it came out?
I think so.
Because, like, I still remember when the first one came out and thinking it was goofy then. And it's like, how could they have possibly kept this going for 5 times? But then I remember they had those Leprechaun movies, too.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and there's one of them, like, where he's on the moon or in the hood. I mean, like,
yeah,
okay, ha, 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 this is stupid. Okay, continue, man. I'm sorry. I had to put that in there because it was bugging me earlier.
Well, okay, so, again, there's like this sort of things going down aspect, but I'll get to the flip side of that.
Circling the drain, yo.
Yeah, I mean, like, the latest new Transformers line looks like ass. That isn't like a collector-oriented line. It's like the kids line.
Right.
But it's like, and it's like the deluxe class figure, which is like the average class of trans is like now at like $15. It's like really for this, you know. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain because I don't have photos here, and I don't feel like putting things. I don't even feel like putting in the chat because it's not worth it.
Right.
But well, unless you want me to. I'll look up the Starscream with no knees bending.
Ooh.
Of course, granted that we're now living in a time where you can buy the same version of the character in different sizes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
because that's the way things are now.
I mean, the toy market in general is
Yeah,
kind of,
I don't know.
it's
almost at the print industry level.
Yeah,
not quite though. That's taken an even bigger hit.
Yeah, what to a certain extent, yeah, because when you're looking at print, it's mostly a lot of specialty stuff.
Right. I mean, like art books and things like that will never go out of style, but like newspapers or magazines and
you're
shit,
not going to get
a lot
mass market
of
stuff.
that's almost a niche now.
Yeah, you're not going to get mass market stuff in print.
No. I mean, you'll have dedicated stuff, I think.
It's like I actually went into one of these Toys R Us stores while they were having the.
I don't have the heart to do that.
Because I wanted to see what was up, what was going on. And not gonna lie, they had some stuff that's very interesting specifically to me, because they I don't know who came up with this idea, but it was a brilliant idea. They decided to make a line of dart guns, like Nerf guns, but like off-brand Nerf, off of the Halo guns. So like it's a Halo plasma pistol. It's pretty much the size of a plasma pistol that would be in Halo, but it's like a little dart blaster.
Huh. That's actually kind of cool sounding, even as an adult.
Yeah, exactly.
Ignore the price. It should be like $15. It's $34 there because Amazon people can mark up anything.
Yeah, so VZ posted in the IRC an Amazon link to a Starscream Transformer. And the knees don't bend on this one?
No.
Jesus Christ.
Because of the gimmick that it has a wing slice, so it has to be stationary.
Oh.
The hips move, I could see, but not the knees.
4.5 inches.
But on the flip side, maybe Hasbro buying Power Rangers, having the Power Rangers IP might actually be a good thing, because they showed off the White Ranger this weekend, and they're trying to make them look more like the actual suit, the costumes, rather than like this like weird idolization where Bandai was under the delusion for years that they had to compete with the superhero market, so they made them look like really muscled up, which never matched what was in the show.
Right.
There's potential, and there's like two villain designs that if they make those, they got my fucking money.
Money. Get some.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I need more of. So I don't know. It's maybe things could be sorry. But at the same time, it's really just the import market that's kind of the only thing unstable with me. Same thing with like, as far as new IP.
VZ's having some technical difficulties here.
VZ's out here dropping the beat.
I just caught what you did there.
I mean, as far as the only new stuff that interests me, like, it's mostly just anime, because it's consistently new IP. It's new and it's interesting stuff. Meanwhile, I just saw a commercial the other day, right? Yesterday. And it's like, oh, gee, another Predator movie.
Oh, I actually saw that earlier today.
I'm like, wow.
I saw it because is it the same commercial where he like almost wrestling move power slams him into the car?
Yeah, it was like
yeah, like he just like overhands him and like bam into it. Yeah,
it's like
all that stands between them and us are these guys, and it's just like a platoon or whatever.
And wait, they're doing another Terminator movie.
Does anybody really care now?
Yeah,
I mean, they've already put out a couple other ones that were just kind of eh.
Yeah, well, after 2, it stopped.
Yeah, I mean, 3 was not as bad, I think, as some people made it out to be, but it wasn't as good as I was hoping either.
The fourth one was the worst.
Yeah, I barely even remember it. I know I saw it, but so there you have it.
What was it? I just know that they're gonna try to do like the thing, like what they did with like Ghostbusters, 2016.
Please don't do that.
Uh,
Can you imagine? Can you imagine like a girl power version of Predator or something? Like, wait a minute. That doesn't work. Think about that. Think about what you're saying when you say that. A girl power version of Predator. Is that like some kind of Me Too thing, or?
That's another aspect of the toy market that baffles me. Is this weird? Like I'm saying, there's nothing wrong with marketing to girls, but they're doing what or girl, a female action figures, obviously, considering what I collect these days. But there's this weird like trying to. If you like, they have this like line. I think it's called like Force of Diversity. It's like these stylized dolls of Star Wars characters, of like Princess Leia and Rey, and it's like, and nobody's touching them at all. Because again, I watched this YouTube channel called World Class Bullshitters.
I like the name.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's been going to like toy stores, to Toys R Us's until they closed. And as the days went down with that Toys R Us, everything was getting sold out.
Yep.
Everything was getting sold out except for the Star Wars stuff.
Wow.
And it wasn't
I think they just flopped it, really.
Not just the recent stuff, but all the way back to The Force Awakens.
Yeah. To be fair, old school fans just thought it probably should have stopped there.
I think like I said,
before the new ones, before Disney took it over.
Yeah, any interest that people have in Star Wars, like I said, they just probably jumped into the Japanese stuff.
Or in the case of me and Anubis, we still like Star Wars, but we're one of those people that think that the original trilogy is really all you need. The rest of it's just fun stuff.
Well, for me, it's the original trilogy and the prequels.
Okay. I didn't know if you actually liked them that much or not.
Yeah, no, but it's like I basically checked out on Star Wars as soon as Disney decided we're gonna erase all the expanded universe stuff from the canon.
I will admit I have a weird soft spot for the Phantom Menace.
It's a good movie.
No, it's not terrible. I mean, the only thing I had a problem with those prequels, if you want me to be honest, is some of the scenery in Attack of the Clones. It just didn't feel Star Wars-y to me. But otherwise, it's all right. I mean,
I don't into prequels, honestly.
I don't hate them. No, I think there's some bad acting parts and stuff like that. But come on, the original had hammy shit too.
Yeah.
I mean, are you going to tell me it didn't?
But yeah, no one's touching the new Star Wars stuff, partially because it's the new Star Wars stuff and it's not very good compared to the old Star Wars stuff, and partially because it's like what kids are out here. It's like I said before, what kids are out here are still playing with action figures.
Yeah, I mean, when we've got things like virtual reality games and all this other stuff, it's kind of losing a little bit of air.
Well, even before that, because that still costs $400 consumer level. It's like there's kids out here playing Fortnite, which is free.
Yeah, and they're addicted to it like crack at this point.
Yeah, it's become pretty significant. And if you want to understand why the toy stores are suffering, that's why. A lot of entertainment right now. If you want to understand why TV is suffering as well, why there's no Saturday morning block, that's why, because a lot of entertainment right now is focused on not just Fortnite and video games and stuff like that, but a lot of it's cell phones, a lot of it's mobile, a lot of it's on PCs and whatnot, a lot of it's on video games.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the things we're seeing there with that are sort of based in the sense that there's only so much market cover and room you can have, and they got to fight for it.
Yep.
And they're going to go, and the smart business people are paying attention where they're going and adjusting accordingly.
Yeah.
and the other ones are just hanging on to the old basic models and ways of doing things, even if they're changing and not working anymore.
I mean, Funko, the company we talked shit on several episodes ago about their IPO.
Yep.
They signed a deal with Epic Games to be basically the official Fortnite merchandise people.
Oh,
they know where the
that's a good call for their part.
Hey, their stock went up since they did that.
Oh, I bet it did. Wow, they did something smart.
Well, no, they're not dumb. I just don't particularly
like
their product.
I mean, because in another thread on the toy board on 4chan was talking about what happened to play sets, and
that's true. We don't really see a lot of that anymore.
No,
nope.
And I can tell you why. Because even back in the day, even during the big day during the 80s, when there were all these giant play sets, growing up, I noticed kids, not so much me, but other kids, always had the same several few. I could tell you which ones they were. The He-Man Castle Grayskull.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of people did have those.
Nearly every kid that I knew, or most, had that damn Ghostbusters firehouse.
Who are you gonna call?
A little bit later, but that Turtle Sewer play set.
Yep.
And probably some Star Wars stuff.
I think everybody I knew had one set of Legos at least. Like one set that was part of the, like you had the space stuff or the ice cap stuff.
Yeah, when I was a kid, it was the Lego sets that were big. Like play sets had already like come and gone by the time I was
by your
time I was like 5, 6, 7.
They were kind of going down.
Like I'd still see commercials for them on TV, but part of it is because, for me at least, part of it's because I would never really play with the play set. Like it would never be a fact. One, it took up a lot of space, but two is like, so me and my friends, what we would do was basically amalgamate all our toys, and it mostly ended up being Legos and some other stuff, like stuff you normally don't consider toys. Like I had these little miniatures for you ever hear of HeroClix?
I can't say I actually have heard of those.
So it's like it's a kind of a tabletop game, and they have these little miniatures.
They did Transformer once for a while, actually.
Yeah, so they had these little miniatures that are on this pedestal that you kind of rotate around and you click for all the stats and stuff through changes throughout the game. And I had these for a MechWarrior BattleTech game that was going on at the time. But I never used them for the game. I used them for all these scenarios all these like science fiction scenarios me and my friends would come up with. It was the Lego sets were that too, and I guarantee you everyone does this. You build the Lego set as it's supposed to be built once.
And then you just tear it apart and do whatever you want.
You tear it apart and build something different out of it. And mix it with all your rest of your Legos and build something crazy out of it. So we did that a lot as well. But none of the toys were ever used for their specific use case. It was all just taken and mixed with everything else to create whatever scenario we needed to create at the time with the toys.
Yeah, so you were like me. We were a little bit more imaginative with our stuff.
I don't know if you were more. If I were to describe some of these scenarios to you, I don't know if you would say that you were more or less imaginative than I was.
Because I would like to sit there and like invent my own characters and worlds.
Oh yeah, that's what we did.
I was such a like, in that mindset of, I want to be a content creator, a story creator, world building.
Well,
Yeah.
here's another thing I think all kids know, or all kids from at least my time. Anubis probably still remembers this too. He's probably not so. It's not so far apart that people didn't still do this, but
Right.
Unless you were like, this is how you knew if somebody was rich or well-to-do or not, as if they played The Floor is Hot Lava. If you didn't play it, you probably had money. He's laughing because he remembers doing it.
It's true.
I mean, like moving back and forth between chairs and couches and shit.
Try and land on the ottoman.
Yeah, exactly. End up fucking nearly killing yourself, clonking your head on the ground, or
that's another thing that I did in probably like just pillows and blankets were your
like pillow forts and shit.
Yep.
It's like
blankets and stuff. Yeah, that stuff was awesome. Get the best things you could get was an empty box.
Yeah.
You could do so much with those. Or here's another one people used to do as kids is when you get like wrapping paper and then you get it all off, you got the cylindrical the cylindrical tube. Yes. And you use it as like as either one of two things, a sword or yelling into it like a bull.
Yeah.
Yep. And I still catch myself doing that every once in a while.
So it's that, and so this is another thing me and my friend did was we had quite a few Nerf guns and like other various dart guns, but again, we never used them for their specific use case. It was all to play out these elaborate interconnected scenarios of like this futuristic warfare that we were thinking up at the time. So like we never kept the darts. We basically lost all the darts immediately. So we never kept the darts in the guns because it didn't matter since we were shooting at imaginary people.
The best were the ones that shot discs. Oh,
because you can make those things fly. Like if you're actually trying to do some kind of
they don't hurt if they
competition.
Hit you.
Yeah, exactly.
Me and my cousin, we used to, again, same thing. We used to get in these like really big imaginative scenarios, like a bank robbery or something like that. You know what I mean? Just something ridiculous like that. Just trying to pull some easy E level shit.
Well, like we would come up with like geopolitics. Like,
shit! Like, I mean, that's even further. Wow.
Like this is back when. Well, this was back when like things were kind of heating up around North Korea. So we're thinking about, okay, this is Korea War II. So we're going in there. Yeah, exactly. We're going in there into the new North Korea, or like we create again these elaborate science fiction scenarios, and we'd have to explain the geopolitics surrounding that. We had a ongoing interconnected storyline that spans quite a couple of centuries, as a matter of fact, just through playing outside with these dart guns without any darts.
To me, I was like kind of like I would take like an entire day to set up my figures to like these characters go in this location of the room, these characters go in this location, this location. So it's basically like almost like an event itself to set up everything.
Right. Anubis, I have to ask you this because it's somewhat relevant to this discussion.
All right.
I bet you had army men, didn't you?
Yes, we had army men. We didn't really use them a whole lot because, like, okay, this is a problem I have. Uh-oh. Why are there so many of these army men in these weird poses? That is
like they look like they're trying to be like in some sort of contortionist thing or something.
It's like you got the dude, and I get what it's supposed to do, because the whole army man thing is it's Vietnam era, and I don't know why they never.
That's why they're green too.
Men. Yeah, exactly. But it's all Vietnam era, and you got the guy who's crossing the river, and he's got his M16 hold way above his head, and it's like, what purpose is that guy serving in the army, in the whole army men set? Like, okay, we got a guy holding an M16 upside down over his head.
Yeah, that doesn't
While
seem
other
all that
guys,
safe, to be
okay, we
honest.
got the flamethrower dude, and we got real interesting enough. You had the minesweeper dude who had the metal detector and the headphones, and you had like the dude with the binoculars out there doing the forward observer thing.
Yeah.
Which is why I never really used the army man, because a lot of them are just completely useless in a combat scenario in their current pose.
So I think to wrap this segment up, maybe I'm a little hyperbole to say downfall of Western civilization, but
I think that's kind of a stretch, yes.
So, but in a certain like,
we all know that's Limp Bizkit's fault.
Darn it.
Darn it.
But yeah, no, I get what you're saying. The toy market is weird. Yeah, exactly. The toy market is really weird in that a lot of it is like the shift that's gonna have to happen is a lot of it's gonna have to start catering to older people who collect this stuff, or just people in general who just want toys.
That's what Japan does. That's how Japan solved their problem. It's like, no, we're just gonna focus on the collector market.
And it's working out for them on their part.
I mean, they still do the stuff that's like the yearly thing, like Captain Carter and Super Sentai.
Naturally.
Like, this thing's for the year, or for girls, you know, like Pretty Cure.
Yeah, which is how I have to ask how many different seasons of that are there?
A lot.
I know there's a lot. It seems like every other. Seems like.
It's over 10 years old, so it's like...
Yeah, so it's been pretty active there.
More, yeah. And it was originally just the two girls. And now they got the one with, like, the little baby in it.
I see.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay, so... VZ's got his. I'll roll into mine, which is actually an idea I stole from VZ.
well, that's interesting.
So he came to us with this idea a while ago called Anime Confessions.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
Like,
that actually sounds like it could be fun.
Yeah, so like got unpopular opinions, anime style, I guess. And the first one I want to put up for consideration is Elfenlied is completely fine, and everyone else is just overreacting.
Why are they overreacting? If you don't like that it's splattery, don't watch it.
That's my issue.
Because I know why people, even though I never actually seen it, but I know enough about it. I know why. Because it's probably seen as this early entry thing that's like, it's like you're like babies and anime fans' first edgy thing. It's that's the way. It's probably like for not for me, but for like a lot of people, like this was that was like their first or one of their first like things that it's like anime being this really edgy thing to that.
I feel like and don't get me wrong, there's issues with Elfenlied, but I feel like anyone with that perspective didn't actually watch the show. Like didn't watch the show and pay attention to it. Because my whole thing is it's got a very clear message, and it's not a complex show. Like it doesn't.
No. It's not like it's not what I would call like nuanced or anything really.
It doesn't feign to be really convoluted show in that way, but it's got a pretty clear message, and I think it executes it pretty well. It's like, okay, hurt people. That's number one. And number two is people discriminate against people who are different, and that's bad. That's literally all Elfenlied's trying to say. It just does so in a very gratuitous, in-your-face sort of way that I guess some people just got turned off by, which is fair. It doesn't make it a bad show.
Okay, I got one.
Do it.
All right. I actually got two, but I'll start with one. We got time, then another one. I understand its impact. I'll get to what show in a second. I understand its importance, impact. How, and especially at the time it came out, that it value and just overall like setting blew everything else away at that time.
Right.
But today, just I don't know. It's one of those things I don't think about as much unless it's like shown, unless I see a picture of it, and that hasn't aged as well for me. And that show is The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya.
Oh,
okay.
You're playing with fire there.
I mean, I still like it, but it was never my, like, if I did a top 5 Kyoani shows, it probably wouldn't be in the top 5.
I don't know if I would say that necessarily, but I am a fan of the show.
The first season is probably the best aspect, do you think?
Well, yeah, because you don't have to deal with the endless 8.
And I really
but the movie's really good too.
But the movie was good too.
I can't hate on Endless 8 because they got away with it.
Yeah. I mean, if I rewatched it again, I probably would say, "Oh, okay, that was, you know." I don't know. Is it as big as, like, does it deserve the reputation as its time? Well, I don't know. Maybe, but again, it was definitely, if you look at the production values compared to anime airing at the same time, especially the same fucking year that Gundam Musashi aired. You knew what that looked like.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, you know what? That's one I would have to rewatch to fully see if my opinion.
So I don't know, man. I still have. I don't know. I still have a lot of love for Haruhi Suzumiya, and it's not even that I think it.
Oh, I don't dislike it at all, and there's still elements I just don't know if it like when I was actually I was more super big into Lucky Star and K-On! When they came out, and I still like those more than.
I don't know, but between Haruhi and Lucky Star, I think I'd say I like Lucky Star more, just because I more so like what kind of show Lucky Star is.
Same. I like Lucky Star more.
But I don't know. I think Haruhi has a lot to offer that I'm not completely sure if what Haruhi has to offer was ever truly realized. By, like,
that's the thing. I feel like that they could have told even more, but the light novel author got bored of the concept and never continue on.
Well, it's not even what I'm saying is I think I'm not sure if we ever really got if, like, the fan base, especially in the West, ever really dove deep into Haruhi in the way they've dove deep into other stuff. And maybe that's just me, and I just haven't seen the deep dive into Haruhi. But I don't know. I think Haruhi still has some stuff to tell us, and I'm not sure if we've fully gotten that message yet.
Yeah, wasn't there like an anti-SOS thing that was only in the light novel?
I don't know. I haven't read the light novel yet.
Yeah,
honestly, and this is just me, but I just really like the Day of Sagittarius, the space battle episode.
Oh yeah, that was actually
yeah.
I also
that's probably my most rewatched single episode of Haruhi Suzumiya.
Yeah. I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Do you have one K-God? Do you have something K-Gods or?
Yeah, but it's not really new. I mean, most people who know me well enough actually know this already. But I'll go ahead. I'll play along. I actually like Gundam Seed.
I I could only like some of the designs, but I tried watching.
I do know it's got problems. I think two of which I will address in this actual bit here. One, the CG does not look great. It's actually kind of crappy. No argument there. I'm not gonna even try to defend that.
Also, the character designs are ass.
They're kind of samey. That wasn't one of the ones I was gonna say, but yeah,
I wouldn't say the character designs are ass. I think it kind of clashes with the story it's trying to tell. But I'm not gonna say they're bad.
They weren't really terribly different from what else was going on in anime.
Right.
But the other big problem is, and the remasters actually take care of this problem. The other problem is recycling of footage. Which was a problem that happened in Wing as well a little bit.
Right.
But like if you get
those get cut down the same exact way by the Sandrock.
Yeah. But no, I was saying though that the remasters actually take care of a lot of that, and like the recaps are pretty much condensed and removed or whatever.
Oh yeah.
So those are a lot better in that regard. Now, if you just hate it in general, that's not going to change it. But I don't know. I kind of liked it. I liked a lot about. Okay, first off, the first half of it used to be jokingly said it was a loose retelling of the original. It's not, but yeah. I see what they mean because it does kind of use it as a guide.
Right.
But the big cool angle about Seed though was the genetic thing, which not new in sci-fi at all. But the way it was implemented was kind of an interesting thing because it wasn't just people on Earth and against people in space. There was also this genetic modification angle that people both on Earth and in space had it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That's the kind of dynamic you don't see a lot done in Gundam.
No, and you also saw more ground battles than you'd think, which you know what I mean. You'd actually see not even in the mobile suits, but just running around. You saw like gun and grenades and stabbings and things like that. You know you don't really see that a lot in Gundam. That I mean, even though they could, except for maybe in War in the Pocket, you saw some of that. But you really don't. And I do enjoy it. I plan on picking it up when they eventually pop it out here.
Oh, so, yeah. Speaking of shit, doing a G Gundam thing, really.
Yeah.
I knew that was coming.
They need to slow down.
Certainly. It's certainly. I've had to do this in selections and in parts. I mean, it's like okay, this first quarter or half of the year I'm going to pick up this and this one. I mean, and that's really how I've been doing it.
What I really need to do is I'm going to have to figure out a way to make this work
I'm just going to focus on my absolute favorites.
Well, it's like
I mostly like OVAs and movies and things.
I definitely want to get all the OVAs, but it's like there's a big part of me that wants to own like just all of it. So it's like,
I think all of UC is worth owning.
All the UC is definitely worth owning, as far as I'm concerned.
And I think Gundam X, if you want to try,
I still need to continue
alternate universes, is well worth checking out. Put it this way, Tomino actually likes that one.
Yep.
It's the only alternate universe one he actually likes.
They should put that on the box cover.
Yeah. Endorsed by Tomino. Yeah, that actually would be funny. Endorsed. No. Here's how they could make that even funnier. Endorsed by Tomino, creator of Brain Powered. Something tells me you wouldn't be fond about that.
Someone needs to license Rescue, because that's a Cell animated show, so they could do that. Brain Powered. Okay?
I don't know how much money they're going to make off of that, VZ.
No.
Blu-rays. Well, yeah, but they put out like. Turn A I hear is actually good.
Yeah, Turn A's great.
I never had a problem with it.
You were about to compare Turn A Gundam to Brain Powered, and that would have been an unpopular opinion.
Yeah.
Guy that kind of liked, even though, yeah, I agree. I have no idea what was going on. for G-Reco.
Okay.
I really liked G-Reco. I don't know how people didn't understand what's going on.
That's most Tomino Gundam is just like stuff, characters doing weird idiosyncratic things. That's
To be fair, even I'll admit that G-Reco was kind of weird in that respect. Maybe my next unpopular opinion was that G-Reco was good.
I've always thought it. I never had a problem with it.
I love the designs. I fucking love the designs from that.
I am so halfway on the G-Reco designs.
Really?
Because there are a lot of designs that are really good, and there are a lot of designs that are really weird.
I thought for both the type of Gundam that Tomino does, he's not the mecha designer, but I thought it was perfect for that. Almost as a follow, I know not really like story wise, but as a follow up, even though actually in a way it's kind of before the Turn A, the style that Turn A had.
Yeah, I don't know. Turn A stuff is weird very purposely though, because that's supposed to be something entirely different. I don't know, my whole, and this is, I said that as a joke. This isn't my real unpopular opinion, but the whole thing with G-Reco is I feel like people just weren't paying attention. So then again, I feel like you'll pick up what they're actually saying.
Then again, I also feel like that's true with Evangelion when people are all like, "Oh, it's so weird," and this and that. I mean, it is odd. Yeah. But if you can't follow it, that means you're not paying attention.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned.
VZ, what's your other opinion
about Akira? Also.
Well, yeah.
Well, that's slightly different because that actually seemed like it was much bigger of a splash here than there.
Well, that actually has to do because the manga is much bigger than the anime.
Yeah. Which is true with numerous IPs.
VZ, what's your second opinion?
Okay. I've talked about this before with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I like the American music that they did for the original Dragon Ball Z dub.
It's
the rock, not just Rock the Dragon, but the background music.
Yeah, I can't agree with that. Only because it felt just like inappropriate synth music that wasn't really.
I don't know. I like that. It worked it weirdly worked for it.
I do have some nostalgia for the old ones because there's a lot of great not vocal but voice moments like that. They're very entertaining.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, they're hackneyed and written in kind of a stupid, cartoony Saturday morning villain kind of way. But they're entertaining sometimes, and they're kind of nostalgic goodness.
Here's one from Drawing Girl 94. Here's one I have. The ending of Clannad's after story is not a Deus Ex Machina.
Deus Ex Machina, yeah.
Ex Machina. Nor does it contradict the main theme of the story.
Of course not.
Yeah, no, that's another one of those things where
when
it's
people
propagated by a lot of people who did not pay attention
or didn't play the game.
It's not even didn't play the game. It's like if you pay attention to the anime as you go on, you get the sense that okay, this is sort of there's a magic realism to this world where supernatural stuff is real, and they even talk about connections between different universes in various points throughout the show. So that's the sort of thing that's gonna play a role, and throughout you're going through this parallel story with this girl in the illusory world and the junk robot, and it's going to have some sort of impact on the main story. So if you're actually watching the show and paying attention, you get a sense that okay, something's going to happen, and it's going to be pretty significant. So it's this problem I have with, and I had this problem with my old anime club, because like you mentioned before, people think Evangelion is this huge mindfuck of a story, and I'm like,
I'd say the movie more than anything else has that kind of quality to it.
the movie has that kind of quality if you don't have a lot of context for it.
Oh, if
But
you
it's
watched it without seeing the show, you would be completely lost.
Well, yeah, but it's like, I'm arguing with my own anime club about this. It's like, okay,
Boy, that must be fun.
like we never watched Evangelion in the anime club because people were so against it because it has this reputation of being this obtuse, difficult to understand series when realistically all you need to do is pay attention. They take an episode, like they take a full episode just to explain a whole bunch of these proper nouns that are occurring in the show.
Right.
So
I mean, I think it's episode 13 or 14 or it's right in the middle.
Yeah,
it's like a fulcrum almost.
Yeah, exactly. It's right smack dab in the middle of the show, so you can gain an understanding about everything that's going on. They literally explain everything, and it's like, is it a mind fuck? No, I think you just didn't pay attention.
Maybe if your only point of reference is basically like some excuse me, some shonen anime or something like that, maybe it would be harder to follow because
that's my problem with stuff like Bleach. Because after a while, I had no idea what the fuck was going on in Bleach. Every time I was watching, I was like, "Well, these are new characters. What's going on?"
Bleach is a show that I watched in air quotes, which means I had it on in the background while I was doing other things because it was tolerable. And I had no idea what was going on. At the beginning, I knew what was going on because I followed a few episodes.
Yeah, the early episodes are actually pretty decent for.
Well, it's like this happens with any shonen anime, at least on my end, is if you miss a couple episodes, you are so out of the loop. You have no idea what's going on.
Okay, I checked it out. I did a little research here. It's episode 14, and it's weaving a story.
Yep.
Seele, Throne of Souls.
Right smack dab in the middle of the show, and they take a whole episode to explain all this to you, but evidently nobody paid attention to that.
It's a clip show. I don't want to watch a clip show.
Yeah, so Evangelion just has this false reputation, and as a result, I'm arguing with my own anime club about whether we should show Evangelion or not. And we never ended up watching it. At least as far as I remember.
Which, now, there's for me, there's no salvaging One Piece. One Piece is ugly. Weirdly enough, the stupid 4Kids dub actually made it something that looked stupid, even like more entertaining because of how stupid, like it was funny because to see like the hilarious, obvious edits to that.
Yes. Well, 4Kids has a bad reputation in general.
Well, yeah. Here's one from the IRC that I really like. Orimo is a good show. That's number one. And number two is Kirino doesn't deserve the hate she gets. Manami deserves more hate than her.
Yeah.
Which I entirely agree with.
Well, what's funny, but not funny, but you almost had a bit of a Freudian slip there. You were about to say Kirino is good. It's like, nah, you were probably just looking at questionable pictures.
But no, Kirino is if you follow through it, like if you follow the story all the way through, there's a very good reason why Kirino acts the way she does.
Yes, it's not a vacuum thing. It's actually explained.
Yeah, and then you also figure out why Manami is such a snake of a character.
Oh yeah, like I did not see that coming.
You think she's a nice girl, but in the end,
no, you like she's the good friend next door kind of character.
This is what's crazy about Orimo, and you don't expect a little sister anime to be this, like to get it to have a twist like this, but this is why it's the archetypical little sister anime. It's probably the best of the genre. The villain was hiding underneath your nose the entire time.
And you didn't even realize they were a villain.
Hide in plain sight.
It's kind of interesting how that all played out.
And the way they played it out is so. The way they played out how she becomes the villain and why she becomes the villain is so spot on, because that dynamic happens in real life all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's a similar dynamic between Kirino and Ayase, where it's someone who they have some kind of relationship, either friendship, romantic, or whatnot, and they're trying to hold the other person back from his or her ambition because the person they like isn't like to use Kirino and Ayase for example. Ayase doesn't like Kirino. Ayase likes the idea of Kirino that's in Ayase's head.
Right, which
Kirino likes the ideal that she's built up around Kirino, and that involves her not being an otaku. So as soon as Ayase discovers this deep dark secret, Ayase turns into this colossal bitch who basically almost disowns Kirino entirely because she has this thing that she can't reconcile about this person that she's ostensibly friends with. And with Manami, it's worse. Because Manami does this in a very specifically malicious manner, in a very manipulative manner.
Genshiken kind of touched on that too.
Genshiken as well.
With what's her name?
Saki Kasakabe.
Yeah, the blonde
and her boyfriend.
Yeah, yeah, or basically her unwitting boyfriend.
Yeah,
I mean, like that's kind of one-sided, really. It seems like it. Always felt like it.
I'm pretty sure they are in a relationship, but
it's just like she's trying to change him, though.
She's trying to, and to be fair, she calms down with that.
Yeah, I was actually going to say, but unlike her, she actually realizes her behavior is actually kind of bad.
Yeah. The whole basis, and I wrote an article about this on Yashike. The whole basis is either you go together or you go apart. It's like you have a choice. Either you're going to grow with this person, or they're going to grow away from you, and you're going to grow away from them.
Yeah. So I just got a kick out of the fact that he's like, no, I don't want to make out. I'm playing Street Fighter. I mean, basically
priorities.
Yeah, exactly. I thought that was funny, and hilariously unrealistic.
Continued from the IRC. What gets me about Manami is that she manipulates and abuses a child. She manipulates a child to think her admiration for her brother is wrong and sick, when in reality is perfectly normal and adorable. Mm-hmm. So like that's the other angle of it. So one angle is that she's manipulating homeboy to, and this is what's very snake-like about it. So very duplicitous and underhanded. Is she's manipulating homeboy so he'll embrace mediocrity, so he doesn't get too far past her and grow apart from her.
Mm-hmm.
So like the dude's got so much ambition. He's the track star and he's doing all this stuff and people respect him. And she wants to eliminate that element from him because she thinks that it's gonna, because she wants to ruin the relationships he has, so he won't grow away from her. Like that's what's so underhanded about it to me.
So yeah, I mean, well, there you have it.
I think that's. I don't think we have anything else.
Do you have any other ones you want to put out? I was talking to Anubis.
I'm good for now.
No, I think I'm all set.
Um,
Especially with some of the ones we got in the IRC, because the Cloud one I definitely agree with. The Ori Emo one I definitely agree with. We actually do have another in here. Louise from Zero no Sakaima is a good character.
yeah, she is kind of the poster child for the manosphere to hate, by the way, from what I've noticed,
I feel like
as far as anime fans go. Because she beats her, with the whip and everything.
And again, I've got my whole thing with tsundere characters, which isn't really that, like, it's not even that big a deal to me. It's just I greatly prefer when it's like it's like why are you choosing the girl who beats on you when there's perfectly good girls out there that don't beat on you in the harem anime situation. But like, I don't even have a real problem with Louise. It's so weird how.
And this is a guy that hates Sugumi from Nisekoi.
Well, yeah, she's a bitch.
Watch the series. Watch one of the series, and you'll.
Why would I do that? All the women are bitches, except the ones that aren't bitches, and they're just not cute. Maybe that's my next unpopular opinion.
Everyone's a bitch in Nisekoi.
But no, my at T Anubis, why are you kink shaming masochists? I'm not. Listen, okay. If the dude in the anime is a masochist, more power to him. Maybe Louise.
See, now you need to watch MM.
I actually do need to continue. I got like 4 episodes into that one. I never finished it.
The main girl in that. Oh no, and the main character in that also that liked being
But yeah, no, I don't have I don't really have a problem with Louise, and I find it hilarious how the manosphere is sort of latched onto that.
Yeah, it strikes me kind of as a little bizarre almost, because it's like, really, this is what you're upset about? This character from a show that you can easily avoid.
I don't have a whole lot of respect for that particular circle as it is.
No, I mean, I know a couple people that kind of flirt with it. That they're not bad people. I mean, they're really not. I just think they're kind of misguided.
Well, it's like, not to get into the weeds about it, but it's like the whole thing where you have a movement or something like that gets to a point where it ceased being about helping people and started being about perpetuating the movement. But I just find it hilarious how like people hate on Louise because she beats on the dude, and it's like, obviously this is supposed to be some level of a masochistic fantasy. And obviously it's supposed to be some level of played for laughs. And
right. They should do sexual harassment for laughs.
It happens to all genders of anime characters all the time. It just happens in different shows. So it's like, why are we bitching?
I don't know. I really don't. That being said, well, this was kind of an interesting kind of diversion. I didn't even know this was sort of sprung on me out of nowhere.
Yeah.
This whole idea. No, I actually like it.
With the spontaneous anime podcast.
Yes, spontaneity.
In any case, that's the show.
Yeah.
Because we don't have any email, do we? We do not have any email.
I don't believe so.
That is indeed the show. So I have a new outro thing that I'm gonna start trying out, because I actually wrote down all the points, so I don't forget anything again.
Okay, that sounds like it could be interesting. So
the website is ntrradio.net. There you can find our archives. You can find our profiles, get to know us a little bit. You can find the chat for listening live. What actually I want to do is try and set up a persistent live broadcast thing. So like say it's showtime, then you can go in the IRC chat page and it'll have the player and then the IRC chat with that. So you just go on one page and listen to the show. So that's in the works.
Mm.
You can get the t-shirt at, as soon as I find the webpage, teespring.com/NTR Radio 1, or you can just go to yashike.moe/store. Where's the drop-in? Those are the good drop-ins. These are the bad drop-ins.
Shit!
I don't think you've used that one yet.
No, there was an episode where I used it a lot because I just got it, so it's a new toy. So you take yourself to yashike.moe/store, and it'll be there along with the rest of the shirts that Yashike has in the works. VZ Mark II has a book. It's called The Big Book of Idols. It's an idol book. It's an idol art book. You can get it at thebigbookofIdols.com.
Mm-hmm.
Buy my book.
Yeah. That's a great critic reference.
You can hit up yashike.moe. It's an otaku lifestyle and con culture. Every time I say that, I'm tempted to call it a magazine, even though it's not. But you can hit that up. Recently posted an article. I started this new series called Weebonomics.
Oh yeah,
that's great.
It's kind of so. Of course, people know about Freakonomics, which is like weird relationships within economics that are sort of not immediately intuitive, but make sense if you play them all through. So I did one on why anime is so expensive in Japan.
Mm.
And then I recently did one on
I'm
why
actually
Dakimakura come in 160 centimeter and 150 centimeter. Why those two sizes are so close to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Do one about like why people don't mind paying the price of anime figures. That's a good
call.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at them now. Because just to see what you were actually referencing.
So both of those are up there. You can also subscribe to Yashike to get new articles in your email box. So that's yashike.moe/subscribe.
Oh, you set up it like an RSS feed?
There's an RSS feed, but specifically you can subscribe to get new stuff in the email. And it's not just articles. Like we'll have, anytime we got a cool new project we're working on, you might get an email about that.
Oh, okay, that's really cool.
So that's yashike.moe/subscribe. You also have the store I mentioned earlier, yashike.moe/store. Speaking of stores, there's shinikiba.moe, where you can get yourself some half-naked anime girl figures. A good friend of mine, the Geeky Panda, who I mentioned earlier in this episode, he runs his media. It's called thegeekypanda.net, where you can find all his stuff. He does YouTube channel, he does Twitch streams and whatnot. We are all up on the internet, including iTunes, where you can leave a comment, rate the show, do all that. We're also all up on the internet, including Twitter. The show's Twitter is at NTR_radio. Follow them to get notified on when the show is live. My Twitter is at TUnubis. VZ's Twitter is at VZMK2. KGod's Twitter is at Immortal_KGods. VZ's site is at VZMK2.wordpress.com. And the email box to get involved with the show. Send us email, send us questions, send us topic suggestions. Is ntrradio@gmail.com. I'm Tom Forster Anubis.
I'm K-Gods.
I'm VZ Mark II.
And even though what happens in Vegas stays on NTR Radio, this is NTR Radio.